manufacturing facility will be constructed in Huntsville by the company. The new facility project will require over 3,000 manufacturing and construction jobs. Eli Lilly will start using the Huntsville facility for the domestic production of oral GLP-1, which is a synthetic molecule in peptide medicine. The presence of such skilled workforce in Huntsville was a major reason for Eli Lilly's decision to build in Alabama. Governor Ivey, Congressman Dale Strong, and U.S. Senators Katie Britt and Tommy Tuberville all celebrated this latest news and the return of American manufacturing on U.S. soil. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
Police in Huntsville are asking for the public's help in finding a man who has been missing since November 30th. 36-year-old Teddy Trussell is described as white, 205 pounds, 6 foot 3 inches tall, and was last seen wearing a black puffy jacket, blue pants, and red and white tennis shoes. He also suffers from a condition that could impair his judgment. An instructor at the Dothan Technology Center is getting some national recognition. Gina Birdshaw has been selected by the National Society of High School Scholars for the Class Nobel Educator of Distinction Award. Birdshaw is a graphic arts instructor at the Dothan Technology Center. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon, and we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years, and now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, ride for free. E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, ride for free.
At E-Bike Oasis, we're more than just Montgomery's best electric bicycle store. E-Bike Oasis offers free 1-hour electrical bicycle rentals and a full-service electric bike repair shop. Stop by E-Bike Oasis in Montgomery today for free rentals, repairs, and electric bicycle brands in town.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program on a fine, beautiful Wednesday out of Montgomery, Alabama. I'm your host, Joey Clark. And plenty to get into today, from psychological testing of all the AI models. Some of them need some help. And Trump, of course, rallying in Pennsylvania. I think he and the entire team are starting to worry about that word, affordability. And in really big news, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has ordered a font change at the State Department. Let's bring on Jeff Poor, as we usually kick off the show with this fine gentleman, host of the Jeff Poor Show, 106.5 FM. And of course, he's editor-in-chief at 1819news.com. Jeff, how you doing this afternoon?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Now, like, it must be a slow news day nationally if I'm seeing reports on Marco Rubio has said, I don't want this fruity colibri or whatever. We're going to Times New Roman again. We're changing even the font we use at the State Department away from what Biden put out there. Apparently that font was recommended from the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. So, like, I guess this is part of the world and also the journalism world. You got to choose what? No, how's the site going to look? What font are we using?
Yeah, it softens the look of I guess official communication. I don't know. I remember when they did it, and it's sort of like the AP Style Guide, and some of the words that they tell you to stop using and whatever. But yeah, they had to change it to get it here, guys. So the Times New Roman is just sort of a standard professional. I don't know. I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but I could see them trying to make a big issue out of it.
Yeah, the New York Times, I think, initially wrote on it. But anyway, going away from nerd stuff, did you happen to catch any of the Trump Pennsylvania rally? And it looks like he's trying to hand out talking points from the stage.
A little bit, yeah, I think you're right. You and I were talking about it earlier, and I guess you got to do something, right, Joey? And the talking points, that's the problem for Republicans is there's no real fidelity to talking points. So maybe they think that they could kind of engineer it and get it for Trump's. If Trump puts his seal of approval of it, then that will kind of force them to get on board.
And it seems the basic message is Dems broke our economy. I'm fixing it. We're stopping third world migration. Look at all the great trade deals I made, and we're bringing peace to the world. But I think it does start with that economic argument that even if the economy is not where we want it to be, well, it's them who broke it. And I just think that's not going to play. I remember when every president and every administration, whatever the party has played this game, people don't buy that at a certain, what Obama used to say, it was the Republicans who drove us into the ditch and then lost the keys and we're trying to get out of it. And so I've heard this for years, and maybe politicians should stop pretending like they actually control the economy.
Yeah, I agree. But I just don't think scapegoating the past administration is a satisfactory response for voters. Or it's this, maybe even if you agree with it, is that going to be what it takes to get you to turn off Animal Planet and go down to the polling location and vote for the Republican? And that is, to me, I guess you got to say that to some degree, but to think that that's where it ends is probably folly.
When there really is an enthusiasm gap, this always happens, but it even more so. And I touched on a little bit on your show this morning. Let's dive into it. Like, very much and I think it was correct that it became the year in 2024, that election cycle of new media, independent media, the podcast world and whatnot. And that podcast world, for better or for worse, has become a bit of a Frankenstein monster, where it's in a bit of a soap opera, if I have to say. I still listen to, say, Tucker all the time, but when I see now that everybody's got to make a comment or some statement about Candace Owens, who is accusing everybody of everything, like, this makes the energy go out of the room. And as much as we like to think, well, Erica Kirk can go on Fox News with Sean Hannity, Trump can do the Fox News hits. If you don't have this podcast ecosystem doing what they were doing in 2024, in 2026, it's going to be difficult to actually win anything.
Well, I don't think people are. I mean, even if you have it on some kind of unified basis, it's not so much the medium to me as the subject matter, and people just not as plugged in to that realm as they were during a presidential election cycle. So yeah, I mean, I think you're right, but this was the problem with social media. And how many people are aware of Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, all these players in the public at large? And unless you're really just watching that world, and I don't know how you would quantify that. I mean, are you even aware of it?
Right. And I think that's somewhat a generational thing, and it is a general vibes thing that, I mean, Candace Owens is making front page news and has millions of folks watching her, apparently, though I guess the latest story in Quintez is a lot of his following is from, say, foreign sources.
Bots, yeah.
So, like, it seems like the world, not just with AI, just everything you look at in that independent online world, it's hard to believe your own eyes. And even if you trust certain individuals and certain voices out there, it's hard to know, well, are those numbers even real at this point?
Yeah, and I who knows? The one thing we do know, Joey, is though the 2024 election outcome and the way the vote went, and people are looking at that and saying, well, then there must be some truth to it. I think it may be a little bit of both. That the mainstream media just isn't as important. People are going to do whatever they're going to do. And part of that is the gap that's filled in by podcasting or whatever other, you look at your TikTok videos or whatnot. But I just, what's really changed, the first domino to fall is that these legacy media outlets, these expensive news gathering operations, they went all out against Trump, and then it didn't really matter in the end.
Oh, but do you think Barry Weiss can turn around CBS News? I think she just named a new nightly anchor.
I don't know that she could turn it around, but I mean, why at this point, if you're trying to save it, why not? Like, do you think doing the same, like, sort of like kind of left-leaning, mommy-centric news is going to work? You got to shutter it. Because there's the value. What's the value in these news gathering operations? They're not cheap.
Nope.
It's very expensive to gather news, and to do that, you have. I mean, you have to pay people who know what they're doing, and it's not. It's just. So where's the return on investment there? And well, maybe we try to be Fox News Light or News Nation or whatever else. And maybe people will make us their preferred, lead-in to primetime viewing over NBC and ABC. Because I think if you can win that, if you can win the broadcast news, if you could beat the other two, then that buys you a few years. But at some point, they're going to look at that. They're just going to outsource it or whatever. And there's no audience for that anymore.
Yeah, and it's making me think that more and more folks are just demoralized. Like they don't know where to turn, so and maybe it's a good thing. Like I was covering this latest Charlie Kirk book about honoring the Sabbath, and I think the weirder things get in the virtual world, including on television, people are going to just turn away from that and start, actually having real experiences, go touch grass, as they say. And maybe it's for the better, but it does seem on the political front, when you're trying to rally folks to get out there, as we just saw with this Miami election, the turnout rates are so low and astoundingly low. People just stay home. They go, oh, what's the point?
People stay home, but can you blame the media? Are people sort of in this place where well, things aren't bad. I'm not really angry. I mean, things could be better. Is it? So I think it's not like, wow, things are so awesome. I'm going to go vote. Or is it that people are just kind of okay with their life and there's no real angst or animosity toward a certain politician, and that's why you have this just low turnout, because you have this low engagement. It doesn't matter to you. Well, and then why doesn't it matter to you? And is it because you're just not watching the news, or you got better things to do? I mean, you got to look at, I guess, the slice of humanity you're looking at and kind of question it from there.
Yeah, and maybe everybody was already in the Christmas mode down in Miami, and the holidays. There's always a softening with a lot of engagement with this stuff. I want to shift gears here because I'm looking at this headline, and it's a great get for the Huntsville area. Eli Lilly at the $6 billion manufacturing facility there in Huntsville. The governor, both senators, the congressman from there, Dale Strong, they're all praising this. And again, I think it's no surprise Huntsville is going to get something like this with the workforce and just the amount of PhDs they have in that area. I'm almost wondering, though, about long-term dynamics, especially, let's say, Coach Tuberville becomes Governor Tuberville. Is there a mentality that the folks, say, Birmingham and North, really don't care what happens to their capital city? Because I think there's always going to be issues, and I'm seeing it primed with the mayor of Montgomery currently, Stephen Reed, and if Coach comes in, they might be fighting like cats and dogs. But it seems like Montgomery sometimes gets to the short shrift in the sense of, oh, we only show up there for a few months, and other than that, who cares what happens to that town? And I don't think that's great for a capital city.
No, here's the problem for Montgomery. The perception is, well, we spend so much money in Montgomery already with state government.
Oh,
what's the? Yeah, I mean that it's already built into the equation. So that's you should talk to like Barfoot or any of these guys they'll tell you this, that the river region, whether you're a lawmaker, say you're from I don't know, Franklin County or wherever, and you're looking at it, well, we just appropriated a ton of money into state government, which impacts Montgomery. Why are we going to put more money toward a water park or whatever? And
right.
Some of it's this, Joe. It's just the leadership in your town is like very suspect among lawmakers. People don't like Stephen Reed, and he has said some derogatory things about the Alabama legislature. So, I mean, there's not this rush to help out Montgomery, but I mean, I think you could say that everywhere has this sort of same mentality that, oh, the rich are getting richer, and it's just Huntsville all the time. But there's some of that is kind of having a good mayor, having Tommy Battle, who says, okay, we need to get our commute down to 15 minutes or less, depending on where you live. And well, you know what he does? He doesn't wait for the state of Alabama, the Department of Transportation, to come and 4-lane a road. They bond it with the city. They just do it. They try to get as much matching as possible, but they go ahead and just knock these things out, and that makes Huntsville more attractive to your Eli Lilly than, say, Montgomery or Mobile or Birmingham.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head with the amount of state money, though. Man, government doesn't spend money the most efficient, and certainly not here in the state of Alabama. So I get their point there and take it, but I think you hit the nail on the head that the problem is leadership and local leadership. And my hope is, whether it's the current mayor or maybe somebody challenges him here in the next couple of years and takes the job, that you need to be able to sit down with the governor, especially I think a governor is going to be a little different than governors we had in the past in terms of its just style and approach, and try to, just on the first issue of like crime, like that's one of a basic thing that still, despite Mayor Reed saying, oh, it's down, everybody knows there's still a certain element where, oh, it feels fine, and then all of a sudden it becomes a battlefield. And so can there not be agreement on some of the basic things? And you're right, it's just a matter of they're going to sit in the same room, see eye to eye on a few things, and work together.
Do you feel safer walking around downtown Montgomery or downtown Huntsville? I mean, it's perception.
Yep.
And it's going to take more credible actors than Stephen Reed or whoever, his brother, telling you that Montgomery is a safe, Chip Hill or whatever, telling you that it's a safe city. It's just that's not going to be the case. You could tweet out all the numbers you want. You have a perception problem, and you can't just PR your way out of it.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it because I was in downtown Montgomery last night, and I'd not seen a lot of the development. I hadn't been down there in a while, beyond just the riverfront. And there is a lot of development. Of course, this big move buying the old Montgomery Advertiser building for $5.5 million. I'm sure the price tag will be much bigger depending on what they actually end up building, magnitudes of order bigger. But in my mind, if y'all aren't getting the basics right, and this is more a county thing with education and with, crime, and I think the state can play some role with reining in some of these judges, letting out violent criminals back out on the streets so much. But you got to do the basics before we can do anything big.
And you're already behind Huntsville because Huntsville just has more educated people. The Redstone Arsenal has been there forever, has drawn in an educated workforce, and they've made it a priority to have good schools. What was maybe that should have been the case for Maxwell back in the day, but they never really did much with it. But Huntsville used it in the military industrial complex. You go driving down Research Park Corridor, and you see all these new buildings with these defense contractors, and they played it. They had a hand that was dealt to them, and then they executed on it the best possible way.
Yeah, and maybe Montgomery just needs to import not third world migration. Let's import a bunch of Germans. It seems to work in certain situations.
Well, yeah. the Von Braun thing comes up on my show. We were talking about it this morning. Like, well, how can you praise a Nazi? But it's, a lot of people were Nazis during that time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would name the Civic Center after him, but they did up there, and that's the sort of where the legacy has been cemented.
Yeah, and it is a fun thing to poke at. I think it's actually just fascinating, like understanding these are brilliant people that might have been going along there. And it's hard for people to necessarily give that grace sometimes. But anyway, we don't have to jump into all those details, and I've taken enough of your time.
We gave, let me just say this real quick. We gave the grace to 40 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, suddenly here in 2025, we don't do that anymore. And then I don't know what that is. If it's just they found the most evil thing, which is Hitler and Nazis, and they have like kind of politicized it. And that's sort of the problem there, why you don't lend that grace anymore. And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but that seems to be the trend.
Yeah, and so much of our politics in this country, and you can find old stuff right after the war, old propaganda films that really show this. But I think also the politics of Europe is just don't be Hitler. And if we do certain things, we go down a certain road, we're going to end up being Hitler. And that's like the worst thing you can do.
Everything's Hitler. Everything bad. Yeah. Everything bad is Hitler. Trump is Hitler. Hitler this, Hitler that. Everything can't be Hitler. And, but it's, I guess you go back and look at the legacies there. And if you're going to do it that way, well, then you're going to take down a lot of other things as well.
Well, and I think Von Braun's legacy is also harmed by the amount of people now walking around go, nah, we never went to the moon. That was all fake. You know what I mean? There's a lot of folks who say that stuff. I don't know. Sometimes tongue in cheek.
How many of those people are out there, though?
I think it's a lot more than, especially as we get further and further away from the folks who watched a lot of that and that podcast world, like Candace Owens loves talking about that stuff, and so many other people.
Yeah.
And
but it just where technology is now, it doesn't seem feasible that we could have gone to the moon at any point in the last 100 years. I mean, I think it is.
Yeah, I think so too. I presume it. This is.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like it'd be hard to pull off, but whatever if you could fake it. But we're able to do a lot of things in this world right now, technology wise. Well, why wouldn't we be able to go to the moon?
But that's the thing. If somebody's like straight up, they're not joking, they're flat earther. How many folks who think no, it's a globe and could actually sit there and prove that to somebody? Or like if somebody has all sorts of reasons why, we couldn't have gotten through this radiation belt and yada, yada, yada. How many folks who believe, no, we went to the moon could actually sit down and prove it to them? And instead, I guess, who's the guy who punched somebody in the face when they brought it up with him who actually went up there? The
astronaut. Yeah.
So, it's a weird time where the questioning and folks who kind of just take things for granted are like, oh, wait, we actually have to defend this now? Really? Dadgummit.
You're right.
So
it makes my hair hurt.
Well, I always appreciate your time, Jeff. If folks want to check out what you're up to, how can they do so?
1819 News, 1819news.com and x.com/Jeff_Poor.
Appreciate it, man. Talk again soon. Again, that's Jeff Poor. Always appreciate his time. This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And if you are looking for a roof inspection, or maybe it's time, like you understand, you've been in the house long enough. It's just time for a brand new roof. Maybe get one for Christmas there with River Region Contracting. Or it could be you suspect you have issues. You hadn't had that inspection done in a while. They can come out and inspect and make sure you are all in order, that there are no leaks, no things starting to where it might become a big problem down the road. In fact, you might as well make inspections with River Region Contracting a regular thing because their inspections are always free. And if they find an issue, they'll write up estimates for free. And when you get inspections done on a regular basis, they're going to find problems that aren't like, oh, there's a huge hole in the roof, or there's a huge rot because of, a sealant broke or whatnot, and water's been getting in there for years. If you find something early, they're going to see the problem beginning in a very, very early stage. It's going to be much more affordable to fix. And if you're ever worried about fighting with your insurance company, doing a claim, they're insurance specialists there at River Region Contracting, so they can help you through that process, make it a swift and easy experience. So I'll check them out today. Just call up River Region Contracting at 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
Between wrapping, decorating, and searching for those elusive scissors, you're spending a lot of time crawling around on your floors. Be honest. How's it looking down there? If it's not great, give your floors a glow up before the relatives show up during Prattville Carpet's holiday sale. With tile, luxury vinyl plank, and carpet starting at just $1.39 a square foot. That's less than the batteries you'll burn through on Christmas morning.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Call us today for your free measurement. Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Deck your floors this holiday season. Shop PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Hey, get in.
What? Who are you?
I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back?
Yeah.
Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This is Lyle from Marguerite's. I want to tell you about our $99 Christmas special. Beautiful, gorgeous, lab-grown diamond earrings, a half carat total weight, quarter carat each. Those are big diamonds, only for $99. Your choice of 14 karat white or yellow gold. No one else offers in this country. You can search the internet all you want. You are not going to find that except at Marguerite's. We lose money, but we make great customers. We want to see you this Christmas. Come in at Marguerite's and shop our $99 Christmas special. Take that, Mrs. Targay.
Experience the magic of the holiday season with a cruise down the Alabama River on the Harriet II, the finest entertainment spot in the river region. Take in the stunning skyline and enjoy the sights and sounds with friends and family. Book your holiday cruise today at funinmontgomery.com. Celebrate the new year in style with a New Year's Eve cruise on the Harriet II. Enjoy hors d'oeuvres, live entertainment, a bubbly champagne toast at midnight, along with party favors and, of course, fireworks along the city skyline. Book your New Year's Eve cruise today at funinmontgomery.com.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines.
Go to work for a family that puts God and family first. Wiley Sanders is looking for experienced dump truck drivers. Call them today, 855-777-9785. Drive for Wiley Sanders Truck Lines and be part of the family.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Lots of temperature ups and downs over the next several days. Today will be a little milder with mostly sunny skies and a high temperature in the lower 60s. Then breezy, cold tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 34. Tomorrow will be several degrees cooler with a high temperature only up to about 54. Then back up on the thermometer with mid-60s on Friday and Saturday. Good bit of sunshine. Then another big temperature setback by Sunday night into Monday as we sample some Arctic air. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Brighten your holidays with ASE Credit Union. Enjoy the season stress-free with our special holiday loans. Visit us or call today to learn more. ASE Credit Union, your ASECU.com, 334-270-9011. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The premier place the river region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Joining us now, we're making this a regular thing. We have with 1819 News, she's a reporter there, April Marie Fogel on the phone line. Hey, April Marie, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
Oh, life is all right. I have to say I'm a little dried and crusty because I went down and a certain person wanted me to go check out what they call Miracle at Hilltop. And it's a coffee shop, and they had these specialty drinks and the whole place. It looks like the most charming, overdone in a great way Christmas scene. Like I felt like I was in a Hallmark card and I was sipping a gingerbread old fashioned. And I'm like, okay, I could get used to this. So I'd encourage folks to go check that out.
That gives me flashbacks of all the times you would roll your eyes at me talking about my love for Hallmark movies. I'm pretty sure I've watched a dozen since Thanksgiving.
Oh, no, any that really stand out that are above a higher grade?
No, they're all equally terrible. Charlotte Meadows and I just had this conversation because apparently she binges as well.
Yeah, I'm still not. I'll go over there and do it in person. I didn't meet a prince or anything, so nothing like that. But
the trick is for, as a guy, you to be that girl she thinks she's getting the meet cute with, right? So you're the guy who sees a girl who looks cold and you take her a hot chocolate. You're supposed to be the beginnings of someone's Hallmark story.
yeah, and then they find out that he listen to his radio show. You'll really like him then. So there's so much that you've been covering. I want to start with this simplified seller's use tax. This big fight. Hoover joined in a growing coalition of cities. It's a federal lawsuit against the Department of Revenue here in Alabama. Well, break this down for folks.
So basically, and this is, I think it says federal. I ended up editing that, but it's a state lawsuit.
Okay.
Montgomery's a part of it as well. It started Tuscaloosa, Mountain Brook, added Montgomery, Hoover, and it ended up being a big to-do in terms of kind of exploding within the last week, where they're like all these other cities added on, and so now it's a full blown a full blown back and forth. And the issue is this: should the cities where people use a lot of online sales and shopping, so students and people in Tuscaloosa doing a lot of online shopping, should that tax money go back to that city, or should the money be broken up and spread around to other parts of the state, small cities and rural areas where they're not doing that much shopping? And it really is a situation of where these cities are saying the money's coming in, it's just how it's being distributed, and the state's distributing it unfairly.
And so, they wanted to be a more per capita basis, these cities. Like, if a bunch of folks in Hoover and Tuscaloosa are doing all the buying on Amazon, we should get the lion's share of that.
So it's not, they don't want it per capita. That's kind of the way it's breaking down now. They want it to be by actual sales. If people in Mountain Brook are buying super expensive things, paying tons of taxes, why is the money not coming back to the city? Why is the money then being sent somewhere else where they're not buying super expensive things just based on population? Okay. They're saying it should be based on sales. And there's not a little bit of money. There's a lot of money at stake, 7 to 10 million that Hoover's losing. Mobile came in and said they're losing, and I'm doing this off the top of my head, somewhere, $30 million. It's not a little bit of money these cities are upset about.
Now, what do lawmakers think? In particular, I'm looking at a quote here from State Senator Greg Albritton.
Oh, they are mad. Lawmakers are angry. They've worked out this the formula that's currently used. They don't want to upset the apple cart. They're saying, these cities don't have the right to come in and sue, and it's a pretty big deal. Mobile says, hold on, I went ahead and pulled that one up. Okay, Mobile says it's decimating municipalities.
Decimating. I don't know. Do you think the lawmakers are going to do some change in an upcoming session in order to cut this off?
I don't don't know. I think they are pretty peeved at the cities. The counties have weighed in with the state and said, no, we like it the way it is. We don't want you to mess with this, because obviously it means less money for parts of the state where they're not spending as much, and that money wouldn't come back. And so, everybody hates taxes, but then their taxes obviously being taken out, collected, and this is a question of are you distributing it, and is it fair to the cities and the municipalities and the people buying stuff, right? Like if you're paying a tax, you want it to go to your schools, your roads, your infrastructure.
Yeah, and I can understand the fight. I guess it's nailing down exactly how that should go. I mean, we already have regular sales tax. I wonder how that's distributed.
Well, and I think that they have these formulas. If you look, and I was looking at the way that the formulas are. Decatur has now joined in on the lawsuit. If you're looking at the formulas, it's an 8% tax applied to all eligible sellers. Currently 50%, and I'm saying this out loud, and your eyes are going to gloss over, and you're going to be like, what the what? 50% of it is allocated to the state. Then the remaining half goes to supplement municipalities, 30%, counties 20%. And so, you're paying taxes that may or may not make it back to you. And of course the counties are upset, because the counties are like, our non-city, the non-city parts of the county, they're not going to get as much money.
Right. Big old fight over the government stealing everybody's money. Who would have thunk it? And we'll see. I can't imagine, especially getting into Albert a little bit. Yeah, I can see how they're peeved about this. But I want to shift gears to another story. 2 Homewood BLM protesters indicted on federal terrorism charges. So this is like, I was kind of more making jokes about there are different levels of terrorism. There's like, your Hamas and your Al-Qaeda, and then there's these freaks that are homegrown. But this was pretty serious in their intent, at least as alleged, right?
Right. And so I did the kind of, I think I sent you the link to the backstory of the girl who's in this, where she just has it's now gone, whether she deleted it or law enforcement took it offline. But she literally had posted saying, "Wake up and smell the gunfire." Ooh. Regular protests aren't going to change, the evilness of government and, the unfairness of life. And this is a white girl who has shaved her head and decided she's non-binary. So she got together with this guy, very well-known BLM activist, who he's got a rap sheet as long as your arm. He actually did a high-speed chase from Trussville to a different part of Birmingham that he's on probation for. Short version of a long story, they leave the BLM rally, go to this Walmart. Now, they've been calling for people to boycott the Walmart. Well, nobody's boycotting the Walmart. Nobody goes to Walmart cares that an officer defended. And by the way, this is all over an officer-involved shooting where the young man had a firearm. He retrieved a firearm during an altercation with the cop. With every clearly intention of using it. He didn't run away from the cop. He didn't run to get away. He ran towards the weapon and got it in his hand. So they wanted everybody to boycott the Walmart. When people weren't boycotting, they go in, they put all of this stuff in the cart, they go get all this accelerant, they get all of this charcoal, they get all this clothes, they push the cart to the children's clothing section. This is a busy Walmart. Leave the premises, put on disguises, change vehicles, come back, litter the store with BLM flyers, and then set the cart on fire. This could have been a pretty substantial problem for those who were in the building, the employees, the fire department, all of that stuff, if not for the fact they were so stupid, it just the cart itself burned up.
Okay, so they intended to burn down the whole building, bring the whole thing down, but they're not very smart terrorists, to your point. Okay.
I mean, I think you have to, inferring based on what we know in the investigation is they use accelerant, they use flammable materials, they put it somewhere they thought would catch on, would cause a lot of damage. And then they literally set the cart on fire and walked out. and by the grace of God, it wasn't. It ended up being contained. But that was, that's an act of terrorism. They planned this. Then they went back. They came back and forth from the BLM rally. So they were arrested initially on local charges, and then the feds got involved, charged them with arson, and then came back and added a terrorism-related charge.
Yeah, and I always cite, like, I love Tolkien, who wrote Lord of the Rings, and some of his private letters. He goes, the older I get, the more I become I'm an anarchist, but philosophically understood, not whiskered men with bombs. I guess you have to add backcrap bald chicks who think there might be men with bombs at this point. And there's a few out there, and it's a shame to see people, like, I'm sure as you go down the rabbit hole and you start building a profile on these folks, it's like, what went wrong? What demon rose up and took a hold of you to even behave in this way?
So I'll tell you this: this young lady has a pretty horrific backstory, as a lot of these people do, and I know this based on I was able to talk to someone who knows her mother well, and she was a victim of domestic violence.
Oh.
She went, but she lived in down in Baldwin County, Baldwin, Mobile, and then moved up to Vestavia. Had beautiful pictures of her as a happy teenager. And then you can watch, literally in real time, or you could do for her social media was taken down. You can watch her, the transition, cutting the hair, piercing the septum, putting the angry tirades online. And there's this kind of implosion. And that goes back to the idea of, a lot of these people are suffering from mental illness. A lot of these people have something going on, and this is their expression of that. And normal people don't hold these values.
Yeah, and it's a shame to see anybody go down that road. But when you cross a certain line, well, this is all alleged, and they are innocent until proven guilty. This is just an indictment at this point. But the facts of the case, as presented by the FBI, and it seems the grand jury agree, do not look good for these two.
Well, and here's the thing: is there's this online record of, we need to do this, we need to do more. Holding signs isn't enough. Going to protest isn't enough. And so there's this history of videos that says why maybe this particular situation wasn't pre-planned too much longer. We know it was planned enough for them to leave and come back. But she's been hinting at this for a minute.
Now, before I let you go, I have to touch on another story. The headline, folks, is UA mag editor on shuttered identity-based magazines. It is honestly offensive to be told that my magazine isn't for everyone. I'm looking at one. It looks like a magazine called Alice. The cover, for folks who aren't looking at it with me, is a woman somewhat scantily clad. She has very hairy armpits, and it appears she's screaming her truth. She's being very rooted in the earth and screaming her truth. What in the world? Like, really?
This is an example of the University of Alabama did something right, and I am not one who writes a lot about the universities these days doing something right. The university looked at these two magazines and said, how about we do this? How about we stop having a magazine? The Black magazine opens with the letter, "Dear Black Students," and then it's basically just pages and pages and pages, month after month of oppression, okay? The women's magazine used to be kind of vapid stories, and then this particular editor was hired, and they started veering into a lot of queer stories and lesbian stories. Learned something new the other day, that carabiners are used to flag for the genderqueer community. No idea. But learned this in the Alice magazine. And so the university said, how about we shut these two publications down? We make, instead of multiple publications catering to very specific groups, we make one publication catering to all. And now First Amendment, I put that in air quotes, First Amendment advocates and these students are crying foul. No, everyone wants to read my story about, my love letter to queers, and my carabiners are for flagging stories, and all of my other feminist propaganda.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some examples you lay out in your story of Alice's stories for quote-unquote everyone. Butch, your star-studded, which highlights the fashion of studs, butches, and mask, represents queer liberation and pride. Moshing against misogyny, I don't know if you should do that, ladies. Southern queerness and resistance, pop, princesses, and sex. All right.
Magazines for everyone. Hey, this is a kudos to University of Alabama that they didn't wait for this to be the scandal that it should be, that student money is going to these publications, and said, wait, enough. We're going to pull the plug. We'll do one magazine, and instead of having these dedicated ones.
And couldn't they just, like, if they are already getting donations and they need, what, $25,000 to publish one of these things, couldn't you just do it in your own private time?
So that's what they say they're going to do. And hey, good for them if they can, right? Unfortunately, they had a fundraiser that's been up, I want to say, a week now, and it hasn't even raised enough money for one month of one of the two magazines.
Well, I think everyone just has spoken. But maybe if folks out there listening want to go donate to this, I mean, it's interesting. It's certainly interesting.
Hey, and that's the thing is, go do what you want to on your own time with your own money, but don't make the rest of the student population subsidize this garbage.
Right.
I mean, okay, you want to give people the experience to do journalism, awesome, but it doesn't have to be journalism in this way. And of course, this young lady went on Al Sharpton. I swear I'm trying to get hazard pay from 1819 for having to watch that. But literally whining about, everybody. My magazine's for everybody. But it's not. It made me ill flipping those pages.
Yeah, and well, this is the world we live in. And also, when I talk about all the just the experiences of marginalization and being alienated and like not feeling whole and all the problems, all the pathologies, it's like, when's the last time y'all read the Bible? And I'm not even telling you how to read it or what version to read or what study Bible to pick up. When's the last time y'all kind of learned everybody is a bit broken at the end and probably deserves the worst? And you're much more than you think you are. You're much better and you're much worse. And these folks don't seem to be, they might have the, Unitarian church sort of take, but they don't seem to be grounded in deeper things. And thus it's like just word salad after word salad after word salad of all the different ways these, I guess, dynamics of intersectionality play out. And at a certain point, it's absurd. And this is why they're having trouble raising the money. Very few folks even want to entertain this, even folks that might vote the same way as these people.
Yeah, absolutely. And the victim mentality, you look around at what's happening to entire generations, and there really is this, let's give everybody a trophy, let's make everybody feel special. They've lost the sense of community. They've lost, they've lost this sense of the person next to me may have completely different ideals, but they could still be a good person. They're so full of anger and hate and rage, and that's what I see when I look at these magazines. Well,
we're out of time here, and I always appreciate your time here on the program. If folks want to check out what you're up to, or maybe you want to give you a lead on a particular story, how can they get in touch with you or read your work?
Absolutely. April Marie at April. You can go to April Marie on X, or if you go to any of my stories on 1819 News, at the bottom is my 1819 email.
Well, appreciate it as always. Talk in next week.
All right. Sounds good. You take care.
Again, that's April Marie Fogel from 1819 News. Y'all might remember that voice hosting on these airwaves. Good to have her back on our station here. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And they're at Pest Pro. Ashley and that great team at Pest Pro are ready to help you out with any and all of your pest control needs. You should go ahead and get signed up for their monthly subscription model. Great way to control pest control cost, well, throughout the entire year. And of course, adding on top of that basic layer, you can do things like termite protection and inspections, mosquito protection when the time is right, when the season is really ripe for mosquitoes going after it. Or right now in the winter, they offer wildlife control services to get raccoons out, squirrels, any little critters you can imagine trying to find a warm place, make your home their home. Well, Pest Pro can get them out of there, seal off any of the potential issues you might have, and also check out the surrounding area so that, there might be something that's attracting these little critters that you aren't aware of. And of course, I encourage you can always go to ppsriverregion.com to learn more, but go to Pest Pro Services. That's Pest Pro Services on Facebook, and check out their Operation Blue Santa. They are still collecting donations to help bring Christmas joy to local kids this season. You can drop off any new unwrapped toy for any age at their office at 2181 Main Street there in Millbrook. Of course, Monday through Friday, they're open 8 to 5. Stop by. They'll be accepting donations through December 17th. So get by there, and you might be able to even see the great Ashley that I always mention. Take a photo with her, but stop by. Again, that is a new unwrapped toy for any age, and drop it off there at Main Street in Millbrook at Pest Pro's headquarters. But of course, you can also, if you're just looking for great services from them, call them direct at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
This is Jonathan with Oswald's Apparel and Footwear in Prattville. With all that's changed in the last decade, I really thought that radio advertising was dead, but I was wrong. We opened our store during the pandemic, and we wouldn't have been near as successful without advertising on Blue Water. Practically every day, someone comes in for the first time and tells us they heard about Oswald's on the radio. I highly recommend advertising with Blue Water.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Right to the phones, talking to Josh Robbins with Sons Kia of Montgomery. Josh, how you doing this afternoon?
Man, I am doing super duper fabulous. You know, the sun's out today. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but there's a little thing up in the sky. It looks like the sun. So I've been out in the parking lot most of the day. Like I need the sun. I don't need the rainy days that we've had. And we've had some good times. Believe it or not, Santa Claus will be here before we know it. We had a great the food drive last month was spectacular. Then the toy drive, man, we had a great time with the toy drive. Like, we've done a lot, you know. Family driven is our tagline, and it's just been super fun. This is always my favorite time of the year. However, let me tell you about some sales that we've got going on through the end of the year. Kia has rolled out their end of the year. We got the sticker event. So if you come right through the parking lot, you'll see some discounts on the window up to, I think, $1,000. I've got Sorrentos that we can do up to $4,400 off of MSRP. We've got 0.9, we got 1.9, we got 2.9, we got 3. I got 3.9 up to 72 months on a lot of the vehicles. That's unheard of. There's actually rebates on the Telluride right now. I don't think there's a single car out here without a rebate and without a special going on. So y'all come see us on this side of the boulevard, or you can shop us at www.sonskiamontgomery.com.
Well, I appreciate it as always, Josh, and I'm a Kia owner myself, folks. Y'all go check it out. Great product.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. We'll talk to you next week.
You too. Again, that's Josh Bottoms there with Sons Kia of Montgomery. Y'all check them out. We got about like a minute or so here. Let's go to line 2. You're on there. Who's this?
Charles first.
Hey, Charles, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right.
I wanted to comment about Greg Albritton and his commenting today.
Mhm.
You got to remember that he's the one that increased the bond by $500 million for building the prison in his county.
Mhm.
That he's been the head of the Senate General Fund Budget Committee, and that he filibustered to try to get any lottery money that might be coming during the first 2 or 3 years to go to build his prison there. So he wants the intake of that money to get that prison built. And it looks like there isn't anything that he wouldn't do to do it. And since mainly he gets elected because the Porch Creek Indians are the ones that give to his PACs and get him elected, he doesn't really care what he says or how he sounds. My opinion on it.
Yeah, what he said, the cities they're ganging up on us.
Well, it was meant to be just to take care of Amazon, not to get into DoorDash and all the local stuff when the bill was enacted. You know, the city should just find a way to get around the way it's worded and get their tax money for their local self themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense
uh,
because everything has gone so virtual, even stuff that does have a direct local nexus like food delivery. And I think this is something they're either going to have to do in the legislative session, readdress, or this lawsuit, we'll see how quick it moves. I mean, I think the cities that are teaming up might have a point here.
Well, I just think everybody should notice when Senator Greg Albritton is just trying to get his grubby hands on money to get a prison built in his district that he thought he would already have money for, and that he thinks that nobody looks at what he's doing. That's what I think. But I sure appreciate you letting me on here, Joy.
Thank you, Charles.
Have a great day, everybody.
You too. Second hour coming up. I think El Miller is going to be stopping by. Also, candidate to be the next Secretary of State for the great state of Alabama, Caroline Dobson, stopping by in the 2 o'clock hour. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The Supreme Court has declined to hear an appeal on a Texas free speech case. That decision allows local officials to remove books deemed objectionable from some public libraries. That case began back in 2022 when a group of state residents sued over the removal of more than a dozen books, including several that promote the LGBTQ lifestyle. The daughter of Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado has accepted the Nobel Peace Prize on her mother's behalf. She said in a speech written by Machado that Venezuela shows the world, quote, we must be willing to fight for freedom. A U.S. district judge has ruled that secret grand jury transcripts from Jeffrey Epstein's 2019 sex trafficking case can be made public. On Wall Street right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up by 186 points. This is SRN News.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher. The holidays are right around the corner, and you know what that means. Travel, gifts, family gatherings, and a whole lot of spending. Here's a way to get ahead of it all. Call my friends Mike and Brian and the team at Fellowship Home Loans. Rates have dropped again. That means you could refinance, lower your monthly payment, even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. That's right, 2 months with no mortgage payment. Put away the checkbook. Keep that money for the holidays. You won't be making any more payments till 2026. Maybe you're not looking to refinance, but you need access to cash. Well, Fellowship now offers their own HELOC and line of credit. Approval just takes a few minutes, and you can have funds in your account in as little as 4 days. Use it to pay off bills, finish a renovation, or simply get ready for the new year. Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by McPhillips Shinbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillips Shinbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly.
262-1911. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Lots of temperature ups and downs over the next several days. Today will be a little milder with mostly sunny skies and a high temperature in the lower 60s. Then breezy, cold tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 34. Tomorrow will be several degrees cooler with a high temperature only up to about 54. Then back up on the thermometer with mid-60s on Friday and Saturday. Good bit of sunshine, then another big temperature setback by Sunday night into Monday as we sample some Arctic air. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At CB&S Bank, we've been meeting the needs of our customers since 1906. Need help setting up new business goals? Our line of commercial loans can help you achieve them. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. A man has pleaded guilty to stabbing his mother's boyfriend to death in Montgomery. The murder happened in May 2023 when DeTravion White went to his mother's home on Durham Drive and stabbed 57-year-old Tony O'Neill to death. White is expected to be sentenced in January. The city of Prattville held an official ribbon-cutting ceremony for Spillway Park Tuesday evening. The new recreational destination along Autaga Creek is a major addition to Prattville's outdoor amenities. Spillway Park features a boardwalk overlooking the creek with improved access to one of Prattville's most scenic natural spaces. The Wetumpka Christmas on the Coosa celebration and parade is set for Saturday. This year's theme is Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, featuring live entertainment, great food, crafts, and a special ski-in from Santa on the River. Christmas on the Coosa all day this Saturday in Wetumpka. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from your local Roto-Rooter. The Tears family extends best wishes to all those in the river region this holiday season. Don't let plumbing issues turn your celebrations into a lump of coal. Roto-Rooter is a phone call or a click away for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 272-7130 or online at rotorooteralabama.com. And remember,
call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter, Roto-Rooter.
Welcome back, folks. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Austin Barenko with Invista Advisors. Hey, Austin, how you doing?
Having a great day, Joey. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I was just looking up on the TV and saw Kevin Hassett and an empty podium next to Kevin Hassett, not in the same room, like doing the picture-in-picture thing. And I guess we're soon going to have Trump speaking at the White House as the Fed cuts rates. That's the chyron on Fox News at the moment.
Yeah, definitely expect a rate cut. 25 basis points is kind of what the market has priced in. You see, most markets trading relatively flat over the last 2 days in anticipation of this. It probably will not move the needle a ton because it's so expected. I am pleased you mentioned Hassett, though. I think he's the general consensus to kind of take over for Jerome Powell in May, and I think you'll see some further cutting when he gets in. How that plays out for inflation is a head scratcher because I think inflation is in check. We're really looking at labor markets right now are the driving force behind rate cuts. So we'll see if he continues to cut into next year. I think he will. So eventually that will translate, I believe, into lower borrowing costs, mainly for residential buyers. But, some changes that we made or anticipating making in our portfolios with the rate cuts on the horizon are really just sharpening the pencil on our money market. So, if you're a listener and you have money sitting at a bank or with, in an investment account that's in a money market, those yields are going to start coming down, and it happens quicker than you think. So, over the last year, those were yielding, around 5% or more. You just put your money in cash at a bank and you're making 5%, which is a great risk-free return. Now those money markets are all going to yield kind of in the high threes, most of them below 4%. So what we're doing now is shopping around and trying to find an alternative that can still get us a relatively risk-free return north of 5% for our cash position. And so that's kind of how we're playing this. Like I said, I expect a 25 basis point cut. And I do think that that's going to put downward pressure on these money markets that we've, enjoyed, quite frankly, over the last 24 months being, around 5. So if that's something that you, as a listener have in a bank or with your broker and they haven't recommended a change there, it might be a good discussion to have.
Well, and these are the sort of discussions you have with Invista Advisors folks when you call them up at 387-0094. And, yesterday, Austin, I was, talking with Eddie and Madeline about like, what would y'all do if you won like the Powerball? Because I think it's close to about $1 billion payout. And I know what taxes and stuff, but they were saying all this fun stuff. I said, well, I would probably call like Invista Advisors immediately.
I love that.
I would call you very quickly.
I appreciate that nod. And it's funny you say that. Growing up, my dad and I, we were on long road trips with the family. We would always have a discussion. Hey, if you win the lottery, what do you do? And it was always still, I'd buy a helicopter, I'd get a beach house or something like that. But as we got older, and I think this is kind of where my love for finance came in, is he would start breaking down. All right, well, let's just take 10% off the top and give it to the church, and let's pay our taxes, and let's take a portion and set it aside for a rainy day. And then, he would start going through investment options and explaining returns. And it went from a fun game talking about winning the lottery to educational. And we still play that game, particularly when we're at the beach. It's kind of nostalgic to hear that someone else loves talking about that stuff.
Yeah, I just saw some YouTube video too, and Eddie was like, oh, come on, man. That's so like, no, I plow it all into investment, and then I, take out a loan based on my investment and my underlying performance. And then we got plenty of money to play with. He's like, that's not fun at all. Like,
well, and you hit the nail on the head. You put that money in an account and you borrow against it. Yep. That's what you do. That's what all the big dogs do. And hey, if you win $1 billion lotto ticket, you're officially a big dog.
Well, folks, if you win the Powerball lottery, all y'all crossing state lines, call up Invista Advisors immediately at 387-0094. But of course, they can help put together, not just on the investment side of the house, but a full financial plan wherever you are in life. You don't have to be a lotto winner for them to help you out. Again, that number is 387-0094. And be sure to say, hey, I heard Austin Baranko on that radio show with that Joey Clark fella.
Awesome. I appreciate you, Joey, and you have a great rest of your week. I'll talk to you Friday.
All right. Sounds good. You too. Again, that's Austin Baranko with Invista Advisors.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
Since 1966, the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches has been more than just a place to stay. It's been a place to belong. For children facing hardships through no fault of their own, our ranches provide more than shelter. With open arms, we welcome these young hearts, giving them the love, structure, and guidance they need to heal, grow, and thrive in a warm Christian environment. With the end of the year approaching, many will decide whether to help those who are less fortunate. When you give to the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches, you give Alabama's children the chance they deserve. Every donation stays within Alabama, directly impacting the lives of the children who need it the most. Join us in making a difference. We'd be honored to have you as a part of our mission to lift Alabama's youth. And we're also looking for compassionate couples to join our mission as house parents. We provide housing, medical benefits, a 401k, paid vacation, and the chance to make a lasting difference. Visit AlabamaSheriff'sYouthRanches.org. The Alabama Sheriff Youth Ranches reminds you it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. And how about this? While we're waiting for some folks to stop by, let's do a tale of two Alabama senators. First, Coach Tuberville. I'm looking at a story at 1819 News, and Coach did a quick hit on Fox Business, I believe. And let's listen in. He's addressing the affordability crisis. Affordability. Who actually has ever used that word? I mean, do people go, oh, it's just so unaffordable out there? Or do folks go, the rent's too damn high? Like, let's talk how people actually talk, but the affordability crisis. If this will play. Oh, goodness gracious.
GOP Alabama gubernatorial candidate and Senator Tommy Tuberville. Senator, always a pleasure. What do you make of this? Because now look at this. 37 states now have average gas prices below $3. That's a 3.5-year low. Under Biden, it went above $5 a gallon.
I paid $2.45 a gallon last week in Alabama, Liz. It's going down. It's going down rapidly. Just watch the prices of a barrel of oil. But look back at the Joe Biden administration. It was a disaster. They put over 100 executive orders just on Alaska alone in an energy that they said no more. We don't want any more oil to come from Alaska. Did the same thing on offshore drilling, all kind of regulations on permitting. It was a disaster. President Trump's got energy dominance coming back. It will tend to pay more dividends as we go. It doesn't happen overnight, folks. Affordability is coming. Just give it time. We had no chance under Biden. We got all the chance in the world under President Trump.
Got it. But we just had a U.S.
That's enough. Good points. I mean, I think I agree with him. This does take time. But this, as I was mentioning with Jeff Poor earlier, is the perilous game. Anybody that runs for president wins the presidency. They all play the same thing, that the economy sucks and I'm going to make the economy like good. I'm going to bring down those prices. It's like, you're not going to bring down those prices. Inflation has been built into the American monetary system, the American economy for 100 years. Now, at some points in that 100 years, has the inflation gotten out of control compared to other years? Yeah, but every year prices go up. Now, you could say, as soon as you start saying, well, it's the rate of inflation is so bad, and we brought down the rate of inflation, we're back to a normal rate of inflation, everyday people still go, yeah, but the rent's still too damn high. I can't afford beef. So much for a steak dinner, let alone a delicious cheeseburger. Man, I could go for a cheeseburger right now. I'm just thinking about that. But you get my point, is like, on inflation or so many other things, politicians promise the moon, the sun, the moon, and everything in between. And they act like they can pull all these levers. Now, there are some things they can do. And like Federal Reserve, monetary policy from the Fed, interest rate policy can affect things. But at a certain point, when you have a problem, isn't because of Trump and Tuberville, you just heard him, are going to blame the Biden administration. Trump was doing that last night at the Pennsylvania rally. But this problem of prices going up year after year, and especially after you printed, what, $6 trillion, if not more, of money during COVID and handed out to everybody. That's what's going to happen. This is a problem that's been built up over decades, not 4 years. So how are you going to fix a decades-old problem in just a year? So I agree with Coach Tuberville's point. And it's very possible that you are going to see some productive growth. Well, we got Trump talking about it. We've got Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent talking about it. But they're now starting to understand, I think, at the Trump level, at the administration level, oh no, despite all the great stuff that we constantly project out there, and like the success with shutting down the southern border in particular, I think including self-deportations, you're up to 2.2 million, something like that. But there are a lot of folks say it's not enough. You're not going fast enough. And why is it that eggs cost this much still? Like, well, they're not as expensive for it. Yeah, but they still cost a lot. Butter still costs a lot. Milk still costs a lot compared to what it used to be. Think about those folks who, remember being adults in the 70s, in the 60s, in the 80s. But over time, every year, prices continue to go up. Hopefully, especially with that, say, energy tax that's on the entire economy, if you really can bring new energy online, you could actually fight this thing in a swift way. But it's not an easy thing, though it is the most simple thing in the world. It's the economy, stupid. And you need to get on top of that. Now, that's what Senator Tuberville was talking about today and yesterday. And I'm sure everybody will be talking about that come the 2026 midterm cycle. But now shifting gears to our other senator here in Alabama, United States Senator Katie Britt. And Katie was, I believe, on today talking about how big tech has a grip on Congress. And we need to do something. We need to put proper guardrails on big tech and what they're doing, especially to young minds. But I would say it's not just the kids. Or even get to Senator Britt. It's not just the kids. Like, as I was talking about with Jeff Poore, this Frankenstein monster of new media, well, it's deranging a lot of people who don't care about the truth at all. They care more about the emotional affirmation of their suspicions. They care more about the juiciness and sizzle of certain accusations. And people are free to do that. I think we're just going to have to go through growing pains of a new media landscape. And in ways, it's going to have amazing moments and amazing things. I think it won Trump in big part the 2024 election. It helped him build a very unique coalition. But now you're starting to see that coalition soften and weaken and shatter even in certain instances. And it's the same thing that got you to the dance might keep you from dancing again. We'll see. So it's not just the kids that big tech is messing with. So here's Senator Britt. She's been trying to call together a coalition, a bipartisan one, on this issue. Let's see what she's throwing out there today.
When you look at what's happening right now with our kids, ages 13 to 17, they have said they actually feel more negative, feel more depressed. Almost 50% of them admit to that after being on social media. Look, the Surgeon General has said, the previous Surgeon General said, kids shouldn't be on social media until they're 16. Now is the time to act. But the truth is big tech has a grip on Congress, and Congress's inaction is feckless. I do not have to ask people what it is like to raise kids right now. I am living it. And we know the harms, and it is our job to put up the proper guardrails so that these kids can flourish. So I think the time for action is now. Okay. And I think that Australia taking this step, Bill, I hope leads the U.S. to actually doing something.
Couple of things.
Yeah, okay, so I'm looking at, this is from Fox News, and they're quoting a Quinnipiac poll, or whatever that stupid name is. Americans' thoughts on social media ban for kids. 59% of Americans would support such a ban. 31% would not. I guess we have a few undecideds as well. And honestly, I am in the camp of undecided. I am in the camp of being a bit agnostic on this, not in terms of the problem. We covered this a week ago with Jonathan Haidt's work. Like that great essay he wrote down about what AI in particular will do. What would the devil do to ruin the next generation? Turns out we were already doing it, have been doing it for a while. And the numbers you heard Senator Britt cite are very real. And again, I don't think it's just the kids who are being harmed. I think there are a lot of folks who are deranged because of how much nonsense they consume. And again, adults have that right to, I suppose, derange themselves. But we limit, for instance, when children can drive. And it's always probably a moment in a parent's life that's great to see your kid growing up and be able to do things, being more independent. It's also going to scare the crap out of you for so many other reasons now that they are independent and can go wherever. But there's a reason we wait to a certain age. And at a certain point, you have to say, what's more dangerous? Like in a physical sense, the car is probably more dangerous. But when you're talking about what these new technological avenues we've built up, this new digital garden we've built up, you look at how it's affecting people, especially young girls, I think the momentum is going in that direction. And again, a lot of polling is showing, when it comes to the kids, we're tired of these massive technological companies using very sophisticated methods to not only try to sell stuff to our kids, that's one thing, but to soften the ground to sell by essentially controlling your child's psyche in so many ways, often to a negative effect. So we'll see. I think, though, there is going to be, this is why I say I'm agnostic, not on the problem, but on the solution. Okay, that's the problem. What exactly is the fix? The devil's in the details for me. Because when you talk about guardrails, well, how much control does then the federal government get? Because as bad as big tech is, and a lot of these massive corporations are, you think the government might want to put its finger on the scales when it comes to what people can read and watch online? Part of me thinks some of the deranged nonsense being pushed right now, the popularity of some people, is actually a psyop itself. See, people are irresponsible with their freedom on the internet. They're saying a lot of kooky crap. So we need to rein it in. Makes you wonder who's getting paid, why certain folks are getting promoted. I mean, I'm willing to believe a lot of people are just talented and have built up an audience and a brand over years of hard work. That does happen. There's also this idea of, like, as we mentioned the other day, look at Europe. Look at the UK. Look at what the European Union just did finding X. Like, so the devil's in the details. There's a very real problem, a demonic problem. But be careful not to let the devil get you when you present the solution. In fact, that is a very old trick. A very old trick indeed. So we'll see. We'll see as it all plays out. Let's see the actual legislation, Senator. Let's see it. 272-9228. Again, if you want to get in on the conversation, this part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. In fact, the entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. It was so great seeing Madeline Cannon yesterday. Always love seeing her. And, of course, Madeline and the team there with Kim Williams, of course, they're ready to help you out when it comes to buying a place. Maybe it's your first time purchasing a home. They are the folks to go to if you've never done this before. They can help you through your first time, get you the best possible deal, get you in that home you always wanted, walk you through the process. It all starts with pre-approval, and they'll walk with you every step of the way, all the way to closing day. Or maybe you're looking to refinance, especially as you're seeing, as we just talked with Austin Branco about, these interest rates continuing to stair-step down. Is the time right now to refinance for you? Don't make decisions based on the economic, like, national headlines and the latest stuff being pushed on TV. No. Talk to a great local company that you can trust that can get you the deal that you deserve. And it could be to get debt off your back, bring down monthly overhead costs. Could be you want to reinvest in your property or go on that, worldwide vacation you always wanted to take. Whatever your goals, they can help you out there with a great refinance deal at Alabama Home Mortgage. So check them out today. You can always call them direct at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Now, I mentioned that Besant was trying to explain what Tuberville was bringing up. Like, this takes time. And so my question is, okay, what is the and you're seeing just in the presentation at this rally Trump did last night in Pennsylvania, behind the back of the podium, you see in big white, I think that's Times New Roman, Rubio must be in charge of this job too. But it says lower prices, bigger paychecks for all the world to see it. That's going to be the messaging. Lower prices, bigger paychecks. But here Besant is going to try to put some meat on the bone. What's the actual plan here, sir?
Efforts on deregulation, America's businesses are able to build and innovate again. Thanks to his one big beautiful bill, Americans are taking home more of their hard-earned income as a result of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, and deductibility of auto loans for American-made cars. American-made cars.
That is
cool. And thanks to his heroic efforts in trade, trillions of dollars in new investment have flowed into the United States, and our workers are finally able to compete on an even playing field. These policies in combination are driving a boost in production that will lower the prices of goods for all Americans in 2026 while also creating jobs and increasing incomes. This is the formula for prosperity: lowering prices, raising incomes. And every component of the Trump economic agenda is in pursuit of these twin goals. Under President Trump, scarcity is giving way to prosperity. The benefits of his agenda are now rippling through the economy, and those ripples will become waves as his agenda gathers force in 2026. President Trump has put a decisive end to the 3 I's. I would add a fourth one: insanity, under Joe Biden. Insanity. Our great president is ushering in a golden age economy by making America affordable again.
And there's that word, affordable. It's going to be a word you hear quite often. So they got a plan, or at least Bessent and them are saying, no, we've been doing a lot of work this year. You will see those flowers bloom. You will see that fruit borne out next year to celebrate our big birthday bash as a nation. We'll see. Let's go to line 1 and talk to Pat. Hey, Pat, how you doing?
Definitely enjoyed listening to that speech. I'm an old fart. I get Social Security. So does my wife. And they haven't passed that no tax on Social Security yet. So that was a bull-faced lie that he just told us.
They
talk
didn't?
about it. But
They didn't pass that?
But they haven't. No.
I thought
it
they
was not
did.
in the big, beautiful bill.
I thought it was.
No
I thought-
tax. No. Tax on Social Security takes the special, different kind of legislation. They couldn't do it in the big, beautiful bill. Social Security is still being taxed.
Okay. Yeah, I thought they got something where you could, you up to a certain level, you could have deduction.
You know, I'll go home and do some more research. But they tried to include it in the big, beautiful bill, and there's something, the way the law is written towards Social Security, they could not do that. It's going to require special legislation from Congress, and that ain't never going to happen.
I'm looking at, I just looked it up. It said it didn't eliminate federal taxes and Social Security benefits outright, but introduced a new temporary $6,000 tax deduction for eligible seniors.
Okay. Well, I hope I'm eligible.
There you go. Well, that, I don't want to get into your private business, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. You have a good day, sir.
Appreciate you, Pat. 272-9228. Again, if you want to join in on the conversation, that's 334-272-9228. Got to hit this break. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Drive now, pay later. Enjoy 90 days with no payments on auto loans. At ASE Credit Union, we're putting you in the driver's seat for a limited time. When you finance your newly purchased auto or refinance your current auto loan to ASE, you won't make a single payment for 90 days. ASE Credit Union will help keep cash in your pocket when you need it most.
ASD Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASD.
Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a prospector. That's right, man. I'm prospecting for gold. You dig? No, but it looks like you do. And you know the first thing I'm going to do when I strike it rich? What's that? I'm going to hire David Ernest to be my money man. You mean everyone's favorite asset preservationist? That is correct, man. I'm going to call him up at 833-596-7233. 833-596-SAFE. You know, I've heard a lot of good things about David Ernest. You know, he's the best money man around with over 40 years of experience. Experience is necessary, especially when you're digging for gold. That's right, man. And I can see that you don't have very much experience. What do you mean, man? Well, you have the little plastic bucket and shovel like a kid would take to the beach. Yeah, man. Well, I want to start out small and then kind of pace myself up until I strike it rich. Well, maybe you should call David Ernest first. You think he's got a shovel? Never know till you ask. I dig, man.
At AMS Studios this holiday season, we are giving the gift of relaxation and renewal of the mind, body, and spirit with a one-size-fits-all option. A gift certificate is perfect for even the hardest to shop for, and we have a menu with services fit for all. For the creature of comfort, we offer massage and pampering facials, and skin-savvy, medical-grade skincare and treatments, plus so much more. Look at our holiday gift certificate specials on Facebook at AMS Studios and find us Monday through Saturday in downtown Prattville.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Are you getting ready to put your home up for sale? Remember the 6 Ps. Prepare your home by deep cleaning, painting where needed, yard work, decluttering the inside. Present your home to the market through the experienced realtor who knows how to market the home and get it sold. Price the home at fair market value of what the home should bring in today's market. Your realtor can guide you in pricing the home to sell, not sit. Pay for part of the closing cost and provide a 1-year warranty. Buyers today don't have the down payment and all the cost of buying a home without some help. Prepare to look at offers from the marketplace and accept the best offer for your needs. And 6, place your trust in experienced professionals, including your realtor, closing attorney, and mortgage company. For all the details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883. And remember, we are now hiring agents, both new and experienced. Call me today for an interview. Bo Goodson, 221-2883.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines.
Go to work for a family that puts God and family first. Wiley Sanders is looking for experienced dump truck drivers. Call them today, 855-777-9785. Drive for Wiley Sanders Truck Lines and be part of the family.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Oh, hi, everybody. Lots of temperature ups and downs over the next several days. Today will be a little milder with mostly sunny skies and a high temperature in the lower 60s. Then breezy, cold tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 34. Tomorrow will be several degrees cooler with a high temperature only up to about 54. Then back up on the thermometer with mid-60s on Friday and Saturday. Good bit of sunshine, then another big temperature setback by Sunday night into Monday as we sample some Arctic air. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark, and let's check out what the president himself had to say in Pennsylvania last night.
Shipyards of Philadelphia to the steel mills of Pittsburgh. These are great places. Maybe some of you don't even realize it. You know, you get used to it a little bit too much sometimes, but these are great places. From the union halls of Scranton to the kitchen tables of millions of Pennsylvania families. We're bringing prosperity and pride surging back to this magnificent Commonwealth. We're bringing it surging back here hot. Our country's hot and you're hot. Together, we're repairing 4 years of disaster by the radical left Democrats in Congress and by the worst president in the history of our country. He is. I mean, it's not a question about that. He's just the worst president in the history of our country. The damage thank you very much. The damage he's done to our country is something we can never forget. After just 10 months, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected again. And the United States is back.
And that's the pitch. And I have a sense you're going to see a lot of these rallies. Because Trump essentially is laying out the playbook for everybody else running down the ballot, essentially handing out talking points for the GOP for 2026. Long and short of it could be Dems broke the economy, I'm fixing it. And our country is back. Our nation's hot and you're hot. I got to clip that. I could use that on so many people. Our nation's hot and you're hot. Well, thank you, Mr. President. Really, really appreciate that. But he didn't just stick to the economic front. He did pound the table on, well, the immigration front, stemming the tide of immigration, as well as, well, having jobs go to native-born Americans. And that's the interesting thing. You have the President of the United States kind of putting these two together, that your jobs as Americans, as American citizens, will be better paying, more opportunities out there. And so here's how he ties all that together. Let's listen in.
Office, 100% of all new net jobs we're going to migrant workers. Think of that. 100% of new jobs we're going to migrant. These are government numbers, by the way. These are not Trump numbers. These are government numbers, because they say, well, did Trump come up with these numbers? No, I didn't come up. I'm just migrant workers and illegal aliens got 100%. But since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American citizens. How about that?
Wow.
Now, how about that? Even I will give myself a hand. Now, think of it. 100% went to American citizens before 100% went to people that came into the country illegally. Again, many of them from prisons, many of them gang members, drug members, Tren de Aragua. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country.
So you can mix these two together, but of course you can also pound the table in a pretty hardcore way on the immigration front. So let's listen in. This is the president talking about, well, what standards he expects in terms of folks allowed to stay, allowed into the country. Keyword being allowed legally. Let's listen in.
Share our values, contribute to our economy, and assimilate into our society. That we don't want you in our country. We don't want you.
If you don't do those things, we don't want you.
I mean, Ilan Omar and the people from Somalia, they hate our country. And they think we're stupid people, which actually, when they allow that to happen, they are. That's headed by Governor Walz, one of the dumber people around. No, but think of it. He's given not like peanuts, billions. These are people that don't work in their own country. Their own country's a failure. They have no money there. And yet they come into our country and steal tens of billions of dollars. How stupid are we to allow that to happen? They can't earn 10 cents in their country. They come over here and rob. Are we that easy? Are we that easy to allow a thing like that to happen? That's up to you.
And you're finding that's not just in Minnesota. That's all over the place where you're starting to see these scams. And I often wonder when I see like all the calls, for instance, my grandfather gets, all these Medicare scams. I often think there is somebody who's getting that money, getting one over on, say, older folks having identity theft. And then also, if you are being just ridiculously way too generous with your handouts to folks, of course this is going to happen. And I think Trump hammering home this point, it's like, well, that's just one story. Yeah, but to the tune of billions and billions of dollars. So no wonder he's a bit annoyed by all this. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, they're ready to help you fellas out if you just don't feel like a man. Especially if you're getting older and you are kind of haunted by your younger self. You can go all day, all night without petering out. You know what I'm talking about. You can pull all-nighters. You can work your body ragged and then get right back up and do it again. And now you eat a sandwich for lunch and you want to take a nap. You didn't even work at all. Like, what's happening to me? And you're never in the mood. You know what I mean? There's no libido to speak of. You're losing muscle mass. You're getting that tire around the middle. You're tired and you have a tire around your middle. We all see it. If you want to reverse this trend, and it's not just guys getting older in the middle age. There are, in fact, a lot of dudes in their 20s and 30s experiencing low testosterone. So get by Montgomery Men's Health. The urologist providers there will tailor solutions specifically to your body and goals. Consultation, including blood work, is just $99 with results before you leave. And in fact, they have treatments there, should you pick those particular treatments, that will make you feel better the very same day. Gentlemen, fellas, act now. You only got one life. Procrastination, it's going to make it worse. I know there are a lot of men who are prideful, ain't going to see the doctor, all this stuff. It's only going to make it worse. Call them up, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or visit MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. Joining me in studio, we have El Milner returning to the program. How you doing today, kind sir?
I'm doing great, man.
Good
How's it going?
Well, life's all right. Life's all right.
I heard that.
Now, what do you think of the buying for $5.5 million? The city has bought that old advertiser building downtown. I mean, my take is like, it's probably not the worst thing for the city to control that. Like, that's a prime spot if you're trying to develop downtown. The question becomes, after this purchase, okay, how much is it going to cost to clean it up? And how much is it going to cost to build whatever you're thinking about building there? Because it ain't going to be $5 million. It's going to be hundreds of millions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. That's, I don't know. It seems like the city just kind of makes decisions without really, I guess, weighing all the options. Yeah. Is it worth it? What are we going to use it for? And then are we going to use it for something immediately? Or is it going to be something years down the road? So is it going to be a building that they buy and it just sits there?
Right.
And now you got to worry about all the vagrants, the homeless people. We've had I don't know how many buildings have gone up in flames.
Yeah. Saw that on Court Street the other day.
Yeah, we saw with the old school that burned up, hotels. So yeah, I do get that's a prime area, downtown, cool, but I don't know. We just kind of make decisions and then we end up looking crazy because it didn't work out.
Well, and like, I have no problem at all with a long-term vision and wanting to make Montgomery downtown competitive with anywhere else. Yeah. And especially because we got a unique culture here and we can do it right. But it leaves a bad taste in my mouth when you hear about these long-term vision and these big plans and these big dollar figures when we're not getting the basics quite right.
That's right.
Especially continuing on the crime issue. Now, the mayor says crime is down. He was sharing his stats from MPD.
I saw that.
Do you believe it?
Hell no. I don't think anybody in the sound of our voices believes that crap. Why is it that every time that he gets on a mic, he says crime is down? Have y'all ever heard him not say that?
No, it feels like he's forced to say it
every time. And then what do? He has to go pick and choose what year he looks at or what month he looks at.
Right.
He always changes it. The goalpost always moves. Oh, we're down from last month. This time last year on this month, we were at this point. Now we're right here.
Right.
Oh, 2 years. Now it's 2 years ago. We had a record violent rate. Now we're down 28% and 35%. But last year, we were right there where we were last year, though.
And then, could we get because he's been mayor since 2019.
2019.
Could we get like a 10-year breakdown? Like go from 2015 to 20, like good 10-year window that allows for more time, and you can see all the work out all the variations with more time.
That's
on that
right.
chart.
Look at the trends, because trends are a thing. It's interesting because when you're looking at crime, and I look at crime a lot, so things tend to trend. Trends happen. So as certain people move into your city, or certain people move out, changing leadership, all this affects it. So if you go back in Montgomery's history, 2015, that's Mayor Strange, we had pretty high crime even then.
Yeah.
True. For a city of our size, we shouldn't have 30-something, 40-something homicides. Shouldn't be. But as you go on, the numbers really didn't go up under him. Right? It kind of stayed pretty consistent in that 35 range, 40-ish range. And then all of a sudden, the only thing that happened, people, was Mayor Strange left office, Mayor Reed came into office. The people of Montgomery were the same. It's not like new people got shipped into Montgomery that came from somewhere and they're like these most violent people ever. No. It's just a change of the guard, a change of leadership. And all of a sudden, the homicide rate doubles.
Yeah, baseline definitely went up.
Outside of Mayor Reed changing, the mayor changing, what else changed?
Good question. And I think it's a leadership thing. Obviously,
that's the only thing you can. That's the only thing you can really look at if we're going to be objective about it, right? If people want to make excuses for it, fine, you can come up with every excuse you want to, but the facts are there.
Oh yeah,
this guy was in office for this amount of time. Crime didn't go up like that under him. Neither did go up like that under Bobby Bryant.
Well, and then it becomes like, especially the numbers constantly, even if like accepting the numbers is true, which I don't think you have to do that by any means. I don't quite trust them. And not even like the way the numbers are put together when you get to the statistical charts. Like, how is it being reported? Like when somebody goes in and robs somebody at gunpoint and they rob a cashier, but they also rob the people in the store. Is that like one instance of armed robbery?
Right.
Or is that
multiples? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but beyond the numbers, it does become a perception thing. And they're going to be frustrated that you and I or anybody else keep saying we got a crime problem. That just plays in the perception. We have to do we got to talk our way out of this.
Yeah. We
got to positively talk our way out of this. And I'm like, I don't think that's the case. Like, for instance, when's the last time you've been to Eastdale Mall?
Oh man, yeah, I was in there kind of recently. It's horrible, man.
It's been a second, and I kind of stopped going by. I used to walk around the mall like on a Saturday and stuff.
Yeah,
and
it looks like Montgomery Mall did.
Yep.
In the final days, that's what it looks like in there.
Yeah, and you like see, thank God nobody was hurt, but you see an incident that just happened over there, and that's why folks go, well, thank God nobody's hurt, but like I'm tired of playing the chances, like playing the odds. I don't even want to think the odds shouldn't be anywhere near that high.
That's right. That's right. And people have this perception of, well, crime is everywhere. Okay, we know churches can have it happen, schools can have it happen, but there are certain places that you go that is not the expectation that violence is going to meet you there. Right? You go to other places and you're kind of like, okay, I'm in an area I gotta really watch. Well, you're more susceptible to having that happen, but not a mall. You shouldn't have that happen.
And also, and this is more of a national, or at least a regional thing. I used to, as a teenager and like early 20s, you can get a little drunk, you go to a Waffle House.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, why is everybody always fighting in the Waffle House?
Yeah, it's the throw. Look, I think the employees, man, they got to go through
some of them not playing.
They got to get jumped in or something, man. It's like, hey, man, can you fight? Can you take a punch? Outside of that, I mean, we know you're gonna flip these waffles and.
Yeah, there's a video. It's on my mind because there's a video viral today where some guy starts acting a fool, picking a fight, whooping somebody, and the employees step in. They know how to fight. I was like, his ground and pound is incredible.
Yeah. But, man, Waffle House said they flipping waffles and people.
I remember where that was in a meme. And now it's a meme. And I'm like, why is everybody fighting in the Waffle House?
Yeah. I saw the one where it's the guy, it's a quote unquote black guy. He's the cook. Yeah. He got like I don't know if he got a cigarette in his mouth or something, but he's like pointing at it. He's like, yeah, I'm that guy. And they're like, I know I'm finna go in there and get some good food. He knows, but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and that's the issue. And maybe it's a social media thing where perception drives this. And I often don't go down the rabbit hole of what people are posting on Facebook in particular about Montgomery because I have trouble verifying it. Now, you got a video that's showing things, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But so I'm willing to kind of accept official numbers just as a baseline for the sake of argument. But when you do pay attention to what folks are saying online, I discount that as much as the official numbers, but there is a certain sense of like things ain't going in the right direction.
That's right.
And
That's right.
Along with the folks who go, stop it, we need happy talk. Be happy talk. And if you just supported the mayor more, then things would be better.
Hey, man, y'all mayor said that, he said this a while back. He said people who get on social media and talk about, or the radio or whatever, and talk about the crime in Montgomery, all they're doing is sensationalizing the crime. He said that. That's out of his mouth.
Right.
So if y'all are talking about crime, you're complaining because y'all got robbed, or you know somebody got robbed, your daughter, your son, your mom, your wife, they got accosted. I know somebody got, her mother got her purse snatched at Publix, right? Broad daylight, some months ago. If you're gonna talk about that publicly, you're just sensationalizing what happened, right?
Yeah.
That's Mayor Reed said that. So when you have a mayor that's saying that, it's over. You can hang it up. I mean, he's not in this to make a difference, right? I gotta do it. Sorry, Mayor Reed. Randall Wolfen up in Birmingham is doing a better job right now, and I don't even care for him.
Right.
But I can't ignore a fact.
Right.
They have hired police. First of all, they were open about letting you know how many officers they had versus how many they need to have. Has Mayor Reed done this?
No, because we don't want the bad guys in or whatever.
Yeah. So Randall Wolfen has done that. They're hiring officers. And I just saw they cleaned up a homeless encampment. People are going crazy about that.
Well, I'm enjoying the discussion, but I got to hit a break. I got to call a sponsor. And also, we do have Caroline Dobson stopping by. She's running for Secretary of State for the great state of Alabama.
Okay.
We're going to talk to her at the top of the hour, but be right back, folks.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I'm Jim Smith with Adams Drugs. At Adams Drugs, we offer a wide variety of services, including delivery, compounding, wellness clinics, and immunizations. Now is the time to visit any Adams Drugs location and get your flu shot. Getting an annual flu shot can help prevent you from getting the flu, reduce the severity of symptoms if you get the flu, and prevent serious complications such as hospitalization and death. Getting your flu shot at Adams Drugs protects you from getting sick, but it also makes sure that those around you, especially those at high risk, remain safe. Each year, up to 49 million people in the U.S. contract the flu. Depending on the flu virus's severity, deaths as a result of flu complications could skyrocket to 79,000 people nationwide. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for a location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This holiday, make your home feel merry, bright, and beautifully furnished. Royal Furniture is celebrating the season with royal savings on living rooms, bedrooms, dining sets, and more. Right now, unwrap doorbuster deals and fast delivery. Need credit? Get the Royal Credit for any credit situation. Whether you're hosting the whole family or gifting comfort to yourself, it's the Royal Furniture Holiday Savings Event going on now. Royal Furniture in Auburn, Prattville, and Eastern Boulevard in Montgomery.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Phones and talk to Michael Cohen with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Joey. How are you?
Doing all right. What's the score there today, Cohen's?
It's like 28-0.
Nice.
Had one of your listeners come in. His name is Wayne. We talked about his outdoor area, and a television that he wanted to buy, and anyway, he left with a very nice Samsung 55-inch, and I guess he'll be installing that later today.
Outdoor TV. I like that.
Yeah. Well, he got an indoor to put outdoor.
Okay, but it's still, that can still work out. I don't want to on air, the public airways, describe all of his area, but
yeah.
But yeah, that's always a great way to, especially watch some football, maybe the NFL playoffs, maybe the college playoff coming up. Sit outside, have something cooking on the grill. Maybe you also bought from Cohen's. It all works out.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely getting to the time that we can be outside.
Now, as
and then it got cold.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And as we head closer and closer to Christmas, let's start telling folks, like, what are going to be your hours of operation as we head into the Christmas holiday and week?
So for Christmas Eve, we'll be open until 3. For New Year's Eve, we'll be open probably until 4. And we'll be closed Christmas and New Year's. And then the rest of the days will all be normal.
Okay.
9 to 6, Monday through Friday, and 9 to 4 on Saturday.
Very cool. But I would encourage folks, don't wait till Christmas Eve. If you got to, get there before 3. Like, get there like this week. Actually, stop by today. If you're listening and you've been thinking about getting a brand new TV or maybe a brand new appliance, like for the kitchen or grill options, whatever, get by Cohen's today. That's, of course, 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. And be sure to find Michael and say, I heard you on that show with that Joey Clark fellow.
Yeah, and so many things that we sell are available pretty much everywhere, and we'll always have the same price as the big box stores,
but with service above all the others.
Well, and this customer told me that he didn't tell me where he went, but he went to one of our competitors, and he says, "What's the difference in this TV and this TV?" And they looked at him and they said the brands. And so he was like I need more. And, but all they could say is that one was a TCL and one was a Samsung or whatever it was. And he's like, well, a third grader can tell you that they're different brands.
Right.
But I want to know why there's $300 of money difference.
Yeah, and you're not going to get any of that sort of silly nonsense at Cohen's. They can actually describe the products to you and install the products and all these things.
Yeah, they just want to move boxes, and here we want to help you make the right choice for whatever your needs are.
Well, folks, y'all get by Cohen's Electronics and Appliances today, and appreciate it as always, Michael. We'll talk again on Friday.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Final hour coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
This is an SRN News special report. The Federal Reserve has cut a key interest rate that signals a higher bar for any future reductions. The Federal Reserve today reducing its key interest rate for the third time in a row, but signaled it may leave rates unchanged in the coming months. That's a move that could attract ire from President Trump. He's been demanding steep reductions in borrowing costs, especially because it would help many Americans have a better chance of affording a mortgage to buy a home. In a set of quarterly economic projections, Fed officials signaled that they do expect to lower rates just once next year. And today's cut reduced the rate to about 3.6%. That's the lowest it's been in nearly 3 years. Lower rates from the Fed can bring down borrowing costs for everything, including mortgages, auto loans, and credit cards over time, though market forces can also affect those same rates. This has been an SRN News special report.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30 gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say micro, offer ends 12/14. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by McPhillips Shinbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillips Shinbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly.
262-1911. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Lots of temperature ups and downs over the next several days. Today will be a little milder with mostly sunny skies and a high temperature in the lower 60s. Then breezy, cold tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 34. Tomorrow will be several degrees cooler with a high temperature only up to about 54. Then back up on the thermometer with mid-60s on Friday and Saturday. Good bit of sunshine, then another big temperature setback by Sunday night into Monday as we sample some Arctic air. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
1819 News.
The Alabama Supreme Court has agreed to hear oral arguments in a case out of Decatur that involves a former police officer. The state Supreme Court will hear the case involving Mac Marquette, who is facing murder charges for the shooting death of Stephen Perkins back in 2023 when Marquette was a Decatur police officer. The case has already been considered by the Alabama Court of Criminal Appeals, but that court rejected Marquette's claim that he acted in self-defense in the confrontation with Perkins. The state Supreme Court will hear the oral arguments regarding Marquette's case in January of next year. That hearing will be held at the University of Alabama. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness license plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org.
A Baldwin County man has been arrested as part of a sting operation to catch child predators. 24-year-old Antoine Watts is accused of communicating with what he thought was a 14-year-old girl. Those who were taking part in the sting operation and posing online as minors say that Watts also sought to enlist the minor in the crime of stealing a car and to film the child as part of his adult content creations that are posted online. The police chief for Opelika is planning to retire in the first part of 2026. Shane Healy will make March 1st his last day on the job. He's been in law enforcement for 35 years. Healy became the police chief in 2021 after serving first as a corporal, sergeant, lieutenant, and captain. Opelika city officials and residents will be holding a celebration for Healy in February of next year. I'm Andrea Tyson.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Attention Montgomery business owners. Want more customers without guessing how to reach them? Blue Water Broadcasting isn't just radio. We're your full-service digital marketing partner. From smart social media campaigns to targeted display ads to SEO that actually works. We help your business get seen by the right people at the right time. Whether you're a local shop, a growing brand, or an established company, our team can build a custom strategy that drives real results on air and online. Ready to grow? Call Blue Water Broadcasting today or visit bluewaterbroadcasting.com. Blue Water Broadcasting, your audience is waiting.
What if this was someone in your family that had a chronic illness that they could not get away from?
Millions of Americans live with a disease that has no cure.
I was diagnosed with a rare form of sarcoma. The most immediate findings indicated that I should lose my leg, but it ended up taking 4 clinical trials in 25 years to get me to this point.
Cures are within reach if we invest in funding for life-saving medical research that's needed to find them.
Even if they're unsuccessful in my treatment, that they will have learned from my treatment that will be able to allow others to stand on my shoulders to be able to be helped.
Join the fight for cures. Tell your elected representatives to support American medical research. Visit unitedforcures.org/action to send a letter today. Paid for by United for Cures Action.
This is Lyle from Marguerite's. I want to tell you about our $99 Christmas special.
beautiful, gorgeous lab-grown diamond earrings, a half carat total weight, quarter carat each. Those are big diamonds, only for $99. Your choice of 14 karat white or yellow gold. No one else offers in this country. You can search the internet all you want. You are not going to find that except at Marguerite's. We lose money, but we make great customers. We want to see you this Christmas. Come in at Marguerite's and shop our $99 Christmas special. Take that, Mrs. Target.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark, and joining us in the studio now, we have a candidate for office. She's running for Secretary of State for the great state of Alabama, Caroline Dobson, returning to the show. Hey, Caroline.
Hey, Joey.
How you
Thanks for
doing?
having me. I'm doing great. Thanks. How about you?
Life's good. I'm learning that I got to watch the alcohol at Christmas parties. It just I don't recover as quickly, but I'm working at it. But like, how's the campaign trail going?
It's going great. No. Just so grateful for just how engaged so many Alabamians are already. You know, there've already been some forums or fora, whatever the plural forums is, and opportunities, different candidate events for us to get our message out there. And so I'm grateful for that because there are a lot of races, a lot of candidates, and so I've been trying to take good advantage of every opportunity before the holidays because I know when January comes, it'll be at that point just a true countdown to May 19th.
And I admit I don't go to a lot of that stuff because y'all come to me. But like, let's say like I'm at a forum where there's a bunch of candidates and like I walk up, shake your hand. Like what's the pitch? Like, why do you want to be the next Secretary of State?
Well, I feel like I have a unique perspective. And first of all, having been a candidate in a very contested general election and having seen kind of on the ground where we still have a lot of work to do when it comes to election integrity. And there's nothing more fundamental than that. That's what I'm trying to let folks know. You know, look, you're hearing all these ideas from all these really impressive candidates about, you know, who want to take our state forward. But if we don't have secure elections, you can't guarantee that, you know, if you go vote for that candidate and the majority of your community votes for that candidate, if we don't have secure elections, we can't guarantee that those people are actually the ones serving us. And so, election integrity, having witnessed firsthand, in several counties in the 2nd Congressional District where we still have work to do. And then also my professional background as a real estate and corporate attorney. I've spent my entire career. I'm the daughter of 2 small business owners and in rural Alabama. And I've spent my entire career not in the courtroom litigating, but advising mostly small businesses on, you know, what type of corporate structure they should have, helping them lease space, sell property. And so interacting with the Secretary of State's website. And I know firsthand there's a lot of work we can do to make sure that the business services are not only in the 21st century, but also geared toward making it easier to start and operate a small business, because that's the backbone of our economy, certainly the backbone of our economy in this state, in our rural areas of the state, because, you know, 35% of our state lives outside of a municipal boundary. So that means even, you know, there are a lot of small municipalities too, but even beyond that, basically a third of Alabamians don't live in city limits, and small businesses are really hurting, especially in those areas. On the campaign trail, driving around the state, you know, it's I kind of have a game to myself. How many Dollar Generals am I going to see in one day? And again, my parents live in a rural town that has a Dollar General. I'm grateful that they have access to, you know, to Tylenol, Benadryl if they need it. But at the same time, we've also got to be fostering growth of our small businesses. And so approaching the office of Secretary of State with an eye to streamline services, reduce fees, and really kind of gear it towards small business owners is something that's really important to me and really seems to resonate with the folks I'm talking to on the trail.
Now, on election integrity, what are some ways to make sure we have that integrity and secure those elections?
Yeah, so it starts long before and it continues after the election day. It's not, first and foremost, we certainly need a larger pool of election day workers. I think a lot of folks just think that election day workers magically appear or are the Secretary of State staff, but it's all private individuals who volunteer. So as I'm campaigning, certainly trying to recruit the next generation of election day workers, but on a daily basis, we need to be ensuring the accuracy of our voter rolls, ensuring that we don't allow any illegal aliens, that we remove deceased voters, that we identify folks on our voter rolls that no longer live in Alabama. It's great that we have voter ID when you go to the polls, but we can really close some loopholes. I want to work with the legislature when it comes to registering to vote with respect to more proof of identity, citizenship, and residency within the state, that you live where you say you live, because that makes a big difference too in elections. Also ensuring that we're enforcing the new absentee ballot harvesting law that criminalizes that form of voter fraud that's been historically has been a very, very prevalent way of perpetuating voter fraud in this state. So we need to ensure that that we are identifying and prosecuting folks that engage in absentee ballot harvesting. And then after the election, working with our legislature, I know there's going to be some legislation introduced this session. I'm hopeful that will address and at least get us on a starting point to have post-election audits. We're one of a handful of states that has no form of post-election audit. It will identify problems we didn't know we had, and then where we do know that we have problems, it will be a process for getting to the root of that, so we don't commit those same problems over and over again. To execute all of those things, we really need a dedicated team within the Office of Secretary of State. So I've called on the legislature to create an election integrity division within the Office of Secretary of State. Florida Secretary of State's office, which has, kind of cyclically been under focus, starting with Bush v. Gore, Kathleen Harris. I was in the 8th grade. That was kind of the first time I was exposed to the, Office of Secretary of State, and she did a tremendous job standing strong. But so since I think 2022, Florida has had an election crimes unit, but it's a group of dedicated election professionals, so election law experts, cybersecurity experts, folks. When there is a claim of voter fraud, it goes to the office. It doesn't, again, we have some of the finest law enforcement in the state, but you can imagine, Monroe County Sheriff's Office gets a claim about voter fraud, but they're also get a call about human trafficking and arson. And, they may not have the bandwidth, the expertise, literally the hours of the day to get to it. But election fraud is certainly one of those crimes where time is of the essence, and that's another goal of mine is to recruit volunteers. So we have boots on the ground in election day. And we have counsel in every county, so that if there is a claim, this election integrity division can have someone there, within an hour to follow up on what's going on. Because, weeks after an election, I don't think there is an answer for how you truly remediate election fraud. You can punish, and we certainly should punish and prosecute the cheaters, but it's not like
when to get it thrown out by a judge, it has to be an astounding type of fraud,
exactly. So I think it's really working on again refining our laws. We do have a lot of good laws, especially after the 2020 election was stolen from President Trump and trust was just kind of destroyed. I do commend our legislature for putting in place, again, like this absentee ballot harvesting measure, putting in place some good laws, but building on those and also enforcing them and having a team dedicated to enforcing those.
And I was just about to ask, some of this is maybe already in place and you're going to continue to build off of past secretaries, but then, add to.
Exactly. Yes. No, this election integrity division would be new, and they would not have prosecutorial authority, but would be able to investigate and then either work with local law enforcement, or of course the Attorney General has jurisdiction throughout the state. So work with the next Attorney General's team to prosecute these folks, because it's like, it's like a Walmart that has a no shoplifting sign up. Well, if they don't have any cameras and they're never making a move to actually apprehend folks that are cheating, and then that's part of the problem. Making sure that folks know they can't get away with it, no matter. And my I'm committed to enforcing these laws throughout the state, certainly in our urban areas, but also in our rural areas.
Sure.
Some of our rural areas have been notorious for some funny business when it comes to elections. And it's important that folks know that they're not under the radar, even if they're off the beaten path.
Yeah, because of margins in the state, I don't always, maybe I should, but I don't really worry that much about general elections. I think about the primaries, and I think about small local elections where a few hundred votes really can change something.
Or even a handful.
There was one, I guess, recently where it was like one vote.
Conecuh County Sheriff's race was one vote. And a Senate Republican Senate primary over in East Alabama. Jay Hovey and Tom Watley was one vote. So it can happen at a primary, it can happen at a general election, Democrat primary, a Republican primary. We deserve election integrity, regardless of what type of election, primary or general, or no matter how, up the ballot or down the ballot, the election. Because, a local school board member, they determine directly how our kids are being educated. County commissioner, how our taxpayer dollars are used. And as a result, and then that just kind of has a ripple effect, and you kind of see that already throughout our state. You have these areas of growth where you have accountable leadership, and then you have counties right next door where there's not accountable leadership, there's not trust in the elected officials, and so we can't have Alabama developing like a checkerboard where you have a prosperous county and then a county that's destitute next door. We need the state, and we've got resources throughout this state. Some of the most significant of those resources are in our rural areas that have been subject to voter fraud. So we need accountable leadership throughout our state.
Now, if folks are listening to the conversation, they like what they're hearing, like want to support you, learn more about you, maybe donate to the campaign, how can they do so?
Well, I would appreciate the support. Word of mouth is huge. And also, especially after the holidays, after you get your Christmas decorations down, yard signs are huge. So please check us out, www.dobsonforalabama.com. You can request a yard sign, kind of see upcoming events where we'll be, and get involved in the campaign. We're also on social media, Dobson for AL.
Now, I'm going to pretend like I don't know any of these, just basic questions. So you're married?
Yes, I am married. My husband, Bob, I'm from Monroe County originally, small town of Beatrice, about 70 miles southwest of here. Now live here in Montgomery. My husband, Bobby, and I have two daughters, ages 6 and 3. So we are peak Christmas magic. It's a lot of fun, but it's also very exhausting. But I know it's such a short window of time in a kid's life.
And you're a Christian?
Yes. We go to Trinity Presbyterian Church, and so so we are fully celebrating the birth of baby Jesus.
Well, and like we were talking about that the other day, like in my family, you would set up the nativity, but you would wait until
to put
baby Jesus there.
And but some nativities, and we have several nativities throughout the house, and we have some that are plastic where kids can't break. We have some pretty fragile ones, and but a couple of them have Jesus like already connected to the manger. So so we have a kind of an assortment.
Is there, because we're heading into the Christmas season, is there a particular like family tradition or thing you just always look forward to in the Christmas holiday?
Yeah, well, so I guess growing up in Monroe County, Monroe County's home to Harper Lee and also Truman Capote, and so that story, it's a Christmas memory. There's a story that he wrote about growing up in Monroe County with an old aunt of his, and they make fruit cake and they have to kind of forage the ingredients. And so my mom and sister and I would always make fruit cakes. And then you got to kind of age them and stuff. So I love to bake. And so that's a fun memory, and all the fragrances in the house. And then you get to deliver them, right before Christmas, driving through the woods. And some people don't like fruit cake, but they're still very gracious.
I was wondering who was making them. No, but like that fresh, it's very good.
Yeah. And you can kind of customize, we use like more raisins and dates as opposed to the like electrically colored, artificially colored cherries, and that kind of weird unidentified fruit. I'll bring you one.
As an I'd love one. And as an unabashed bachelor, like I have all these memories as a kid. Mom would set up 2 Christmas trees, real ones, and one would be a fancy decoration, so it would be more fun and funky decorations.
Sure.
Like Joey, go into the backyard, get pine cones, or spray painting them gold. And all out. But now living with my grandfather in my late 30s, I'm kind of like, I have one little bubble light. It reminds, I always loved the bubble light ornament. So I always put that out. And in the morning, it just became a thing. It's cinnamon rolls and bacon. That's what we're doing Christmas morning all the time.
No,
and we kept that going.
Delicious.
But well, I appreciate you stopping by, and I look forward to talking to you in the new year. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too. Yeah, no, thank you so much. And so appreciate your voice and all that you stand for. Really grateful for the station.
Again, Caroline Dobson, folks. Y'all check her out online. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
A lot of people talk tough. Very few get tough things done. Attorney General Steve Marshall is a warrior for our state, a fighter for our conservative values.
We have fought the fights that had to be fought for the people of Alabama.
Steve stands shoulder to shoulder with President Trump, ready to fight to take our country back, root out corruption, and prosecute the deep state.
Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall, you're doing a great job.
Steve puts Alabama first and delivers. As a conservative, Steve stands for freedom, safety, and the rule of law.
I have fought for law enforcement and stood with prosecutors and victims as we've addressed the failures that have caused our state to be less safe.
Steve is the senator our state needs and our president can count on. God, grit, Alabama strong. Steve Marshall gets it done.
I'm Steve Marshall, candidate for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Steve Marshall for Senate.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36A, Equal Housing Lender.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Dinner at Epicure isn't just dinner, it's an experience. The best steaks in the Southeast, guaranteed. The Brazilian flap steak, you won't find anything to compare. And if seafood's your thing, the hand-breaded shrimp, triggerfish, and American farm-raised catfish are as fresh as it gets. And pasta, let's just say this isn't your garden variety pasta. It's Epicure, flavorful, fresh, and unforgettable. An extensive wine list, 58 beers on tap, and pick 2 dinners for just $52.99. Epicure, Tuesday through Saturday, 5 till 9. Taste the difference.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back, folks. I'm your host, Joey Clark. El Milliner here in the studio with me.
What is up?
And well, it's great seeing Caroline, and good that y'all had that connection. That's cool.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I followed her campaign last go round, and she was everywhere, and it was nice meeting her in the studio, man. So y'all pay attention to her campaign for Secretary of State.
Now, I just found this clip in passing this morning. I'm like, oh, this is a good one. It's just good to remind folks. But this was a piece John Stossel did where folks constantly emphasize like the way people talk about slavery is it's like America's the place that's our main original sin.
Like we invented it.
Yeah, it's unique to America, to that particular era. All of it,
Yeah.
you know, the whole 1619 project was really over the top with that.
Mhm.
Like defining kind of the history of the country through that lens. I think it is completely fair to talk about the horrors of chattel slavery and like the effects that it have in the war that it leads to and the aftermath of the war. Like all that's real history and it should be discussed. But when it's used as sort of this like original sin for which there is no grace or forgiveness, that's when I start to have a problem and look for people that provide perspective. And so this is a clip from John Stossel, and he sits down with a professor at a historically black college named Wilfred Riley. Riley loves his stats, man. He's very good at like, he's done like a whole book, I think, documenting hate crime hoaxes. Like saying it's pretty
I've now that you are saying, I have heard of this guy. Yeah, that's my type of guy right there.
So let's listen into this. We'll kind of start and stop it as we go along with it.
The original sin of slavery.
The original sin of slavery.
Today, Americans are taught when it comes to slavery, America was the worst.
The Atlantic slave trade from Africa to the Americas was different from any other type of slavery.
The United States didn't inherit slavery from anybody. We created it.
American slavery was worse because
the slaves were reduced to property. They were chattel property.
Is that Crump?
No other system of slavery did that except American slavery.
That's complete nonsense.
Wilfred Riley is a political science professor and author of Lies My Liberal Teacher Told Me.
Generational slavery, like if you're the son of a slave, you're a slave. That was extraordinarily common. Slavery around the world was slavery.
Books like this, Unfinished Nation.
Yeah.
Slaves in Africa were kept unfree.
Oh, no. Like justice
Only
is
for a
very good.
Fixed term.
No is the short answer. Most of the slaves taken by these sort of players would be either kept as slaves for their entire life or, more likely, sold to the whites and the Arabs in 2 years.
Today, partly thanks to the New York Times 1619 Project, students are taught that America's slavery was unlike anything that existed before.
We're the worst society ever. We've done things that no one else has ever done. And sometimes there's nothing wrong with acknowledging your historical mistakes. I mean, I'm Black, Irish, a bit Native American, at least per the family lore. I mean, those are three peoples that have experienced a great deal historically. Nothing wrong with acknowledging that. But it's extremely odd to focus only on the negatives of your society and to exaggerate those.
Americans are taught that slavers caught people in Africa and shipped them here. But few are taught that most slaves were not shipped to the United States.
Between 10.7 million and 12 million slaves from Africa went to the New World. We got a little under 400,000.
Under 400,000 out of 10 million.
The extreme focus on slavery in the United States, why did that happen? One reason is that a lot of Black people survived here. Slavery was harsh, but it's a lot less harsh than clearing the Brazilian jungle.
All right, but American Blacks are at a disadvantage. They have less capital, financial and educational capital. What's the harm in pointing out how abusive white people were?
The harm is that pointing out how abusive white people were is not going to get Black Americans any more capital. Most of the problems of the modern Black community don't have anything to do with historical ethnic conflict 160 years ago.
The Great Society asked not how much, but how good.
Riley says most of the problems began when welfare began.
Crime in the Black community, every time I've tried to break this out, increased about 800% between, say, 1963 and 1993.
Damn.
There it is.
800% in 30 years?
There it is. See, that's what people don't want to, they don't want to talk about that part. They want to, it's convenient to go and focus on slavery. It's an easy out because what it does is it puts people in a victim mindset. So you have to feel sorry for them, and then it gives them all the excuses in the world of why they can't better themselves today, why they can't, be with the mother of their children, or why they can't be in their child's life, why they can't go to school, get educated, or move up at their company, or raise children who are not out here killing each other.
Yeah. And I think that it is still playing on, and it's the reason you saw a war fought. In many ways, there are a lot of reasons for that war between the states.
Yeah.
But it definitely became the liberation of slaves and the emancipation of slaves. And so when you think of the amount of people that died to end this, and then the constant, like they just played that clip of LBJ, the constant wanting to make this better, wanting to get through, wanting to, I think it is actually playing on America's Christian identity. There's a reason it was ended here.
Yeah.
And so people are being put on the back foot by appealing to their better angels, and Americans, well, there's a bit of a shift happening right now. People are kind of saying, I'm done with the whole white guilt thing.
Yeah.
There's definitely a bit of a shift. But I think people still would be like, you know what? Yeah. And so that's what's so frustrating is like, did you see these changes in like these other parts of the world they're talking about? Like in the Arab world and Africa.
They still have slaves today.
Right. And then like you have a whole like ethnicity umbrella term called Slavic.
Yeah.
Where it's a lot of some of my ancestors. And it's like, yes, there's been slavery throughout history. I think the United States should be celebrated. Now, the UK, the Brits beat us to it, but celebrated for ending it and caring and listening to these arguments. And I think folks have used it as a very effective cudgel, but it jumped the shark in the sense of like, yes, you can point this out. It should be taught in history classes. But I remember at the time, the New York Times during the 1619 era, a few years back, were saying, this is why we need single payer health care.
No, yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, argue for single payer. Don't try to guilt people and beat them over the head with the original sin of slavery to get your single payer.
That's right.
It's just, I don't know. But I love that these guys that can break this down.
Oh yeah, I love this right here. I'm going to definitely be reading up on this guy some more. This is great info. And then I don't know if he's going to mention it, but like, what about the black slave owners?
Oh,
there were blacks. There were roughly 3,500, 5,000, something like that, black slave owners in America. The first one was the first slave owner, legal, was Anthony Johnson. We had talked about this before, from Angola, right? He came from Angola. He was a slave. He got free. He bought up a lot of land, had slaves, said he wanted his slaves for life. At the time, the government said, no, can't do that. He said, all right, fine, I go to court. He went to court under white supremacy, quote unquote, a system of white supremacy. Black man from Angola won the case, had his slave for life.
Man.
Because of him, he set the precedent for the rest of all slave owners.
That's crazy, but it's true.
Yeah.
And why don't more people know that?
And is that at the Legacy Museum downtown Montgomery?
No, I don't.
Huh?
I don't know.
Brian Stevenson, what's going on? Is that downtown? Are you telling me that story?
I have to admit, I hadn't been down there. Maybe I should go down there and just see.
Hey, how much you want to put a wager on it?
Yeah, $20.
I bet you $5.
I
bet you $5. He's not in there.
Well,
let's keep going.
Yeah, he started with has much more to do with welfare. A lot of the troubles in the black community today.
Between say 1963 and 1993, racism didn't increase between 1960 and the modern era. You're looking at the impacts of the Great Society, the welfare programs.
Riley argues it's better to teach the truth that almost every society had slavery. The Aztecs, the Persians, Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, Vikings, and most of all, the Arab world.
The Arabs were probably history's premier slave traders.
Sometimes they captured poor whites from Slavic countries.
The Muslims, many of whom were dark-skinned or even black, took so many blonde slaves out of this region that they gave the word slave to the global slave population.
Many slaves were forced into harems.
Sexual slavery was very much a part of slavery. Like if your group was defeated in war, the men would probably just be killed or they'd be sold as farmhands. The women would often be sold as harem girls or prostitutes.
More than 1 million Europeans were enslaved, but Muslim slave traders took more people from Africa.
The Arabs targeting Africa took out about 17 million people.
The British and then the Americans were the rare people who moved to abolish slavery.
So yeah, the British Navy, in a story almost no one now knows, sank something like 1,600 slave ships. It freed 150,000 people that were enslaved at the time.
Because the Brits objected for moral reasons.
Yeah, they'd had enough of it.
Saudi Arabia only abolished the slave trade relatively recently.
Well, that's another inconvenient fact, right?
The Global Slavery Index estimates that even now, although slavery is officially illegal, there are more than 700,000 slaves in Saudi Arabia.
Where there were no Westerners, you'd have a lot of slavery for a long time. And you do.
American slavery was horrible, but it wasn't unique. Our culture would be healthier if we learned about that. And schools dwelling on America's evils hasn't helped Americans get over them. Gallup polls show that after schools started focusing on oppression, race relations got worse.
Mm-hmm. The idea of generational slavery, the idea of slave trading, none of that was unique to America. And another thing, you don't need radicalism to critique the worst excesses of an existing system. All you need is incrementalism and honesty.
In a few weeks, I'll post a video about another of Riley's myths, the claim that before Columbus, the native people were kind stewards of the environment.
I know every rock and tree and creature.
Hey, I like it, man. I like it. He's so right. Incremental honesty. Like, just be honest and real. Tell the true story. Don't sugarcoat certain aspects to soften the blow of your side, but then demonize the other side and make it seem like all white people had slaves, or it was just rampant, and only a certain percentage of whites even had slaves. Back in, we're talking about the 1700s, 1800s.
Oh no, the slave system of the South is like you think of it's feudal, so it was a very small proportion, the landed aristocracy essentially,
right?
And yeah, and most of the folks doing, say, the fighting and dying for the South in the war were not owners.
Right.
They were disenfranchised in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's fascinating to even bring these things up. And what's interesting about the internet now, this era we're in, there's a lot of crazy. I'm talking about Candace Owens. I am. There's a lot of crazy out there. Don't get me, and she's not the only one. There's just a lot of crazy.
Egypt is Israel is everybody.
Right. But there's also the freedom now to where it's not shoved down your throat just in the public school to have then the network news and the morning shows and all this stuff, shove it down your throat in the newspapers.
Yep.
Now people are at least free to form their own opinion, even if it doesn't seem to hew to a certain political line. And I think his point about, incrementalism and just telling the truth, you don't overhaul the society in one fell swoop. What you do is you take steps in the right direction day after day, month after month, year after year, and you start building up that generational wealth, and you start bringing more and more folks into that fold. I think there are practical things we can do that everybody agrees on here, for instance, at the local level, the municipal level, and let's just keep marching in that direction.
And it's so true about, he was talking about racism got talked about more now, so race relations have dwindled, has gotten worse because they're highlighting something and focus on it so much. We should just stop focusing on it so much. Maybe we should try that.
Maybe.
Right? Because
be nice.
It's a reason why other places in America who don't focus on civil rights and all that, they have better relations than we have, because we're hyper focused in Montgomery on, we just had the 70 years of Rosa Parks sitting
that was
in
my
the back of the
birthday,
bus.
though. I focused on celebrating my birthday.
Yeah, that's I'm sorry, man. That's horrible. You have to deal with that on your birthday anyway.
It's not bad. No, I caught him when I went to go check if the mural is still down there. Like there was a disgusting portable toilet right across on the mural, looking across from the statue of Rosa. I'm like, that's disrespectful. And they're like, oh, there's some marathon people. Well, put the porta potty somewhere else. That's just disrespectful.
Where's BLM when you need them, man?
I know. Anyway, I've got to hit this break. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a prospector. That's right, man. I'm prospecting for gold. You dig? No, but it looks like you do. And you know the first thing I'm going to do when I strike it rich? What's that? I'm going to hire David Ernest to be my money man. You mean everyone's favorite asset preservationist? That is correct, man. I'm going to call him up at 833-596-7233. 833-596-SAFE. You know, I've heard a lot of good things about David Ernest. You know, he's the best money man around with over 40 years of experience. Experience is necessary, especially when you're digging for gold. That's right, man. And I can see that you don't have very much experience. What do you mean, man? Well, you have the little plastic bucket and shovel like a kid would take to the beach. Yeah, man, well, I want to start out small and then kind of pace myself up until I strike it rich. Well, maybe you should call David Ernest first. You think he's got a shovel? Never know till you ask. I dig, man.
Want that ride that is fun, affordable, and street legal? Check out ETG Outdoors in Montgomery. They have huge discounts on electric golf carts with many brand new units under 10 grand. New and used inventory, financing available, and they service what they sell. ETG Outdoors even provides lithium battery conversions and free delivery with purchase. Whether it's for the neighborhood, the farm, or just fun, ETG Outdoors, 7006 Vaughn Road, or online at etgoutdoors.com. Cruise smarter, drive electric. ETG Outdoors, your ride to freedom starts here.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this. Listen close. You got a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We're going to see over the next several days a lot of temperature ups and downs. Today we were up a little bit. Tonight it will be cold with a nice breeze at 20 miles per hour, making it seem colder, low 34. Tomorrow, Thursday, behind a cold front, several degrees cooler, high 54. Then a nice rebound Friday and Saturday with highs in the mid-60s before another big temperature setback, especially by late Sunday night into Monday. We will be sampling some Arctic air by then. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Stop playing with it.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And a Happy New Year.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Al Milliner here in the studio with me today.
Oh, yeah, we here.
And good to have you here, sir.
Man, thank you for having me.
You got any big plans for Christmas coming up?
No, man, trying to make sure the kids are taken care of.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want them being mad at old Pop.
It is a holiday for the kids. It really is.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a holiday for everybody.
Man, it's my favorite holiday.
Yeah.
I love Christmas, man. The lights, the nostalgia, the music. I love it all, man.
Here. Yeah. Let's go to Urbanite. Hey, Urbanite, how you doing?
How's it going, guys? Hey, earlier today, in a segment, you talked about the possible new civic center and the expenditure of money.
It depends on what it is. Like, will it be a civic center? Will it be more of an arena type? Like,
well, I'm hoping. I think you and I both are hoping it's going to be an arena, because I tell you, I missed my childhood. I remember being able to see whatever band that came through Birmingham or Atlanta came to Montgomery. Now, we didn't get the party night. That was our biggest complaint. Remember? Well, you may be too young to remember, but in my day, Earth, Wind and Fire may have played Atlanta on Friday or Saturday, but Montgomery, Alabama didn't get them to Monday or Wednesday. Not exactly party night.
True.
And so that was the thing we suffered from. We got all the bands. We just didn't get them on the nights you wanted to get them on. We didn't get them on the party night. And I just hope that one day we can get back in that game, that we'll be part of the social fabric of what is America currently and not just be behind the times.
Well, and like,
So,
for instance, I just,
talk about-
to back up your point, like the location makes a lot of sense to me. I just, not that long ago, visited my brother, walked around downtown Nashville, and I think it's their Firestone Arena. Like it's a massive space, but it is packed right. It's kind of amazing that big of a thing is right there.
It is. Yeah. Nice. Bridgestone.
Yeah. Bridgestone. Yeah. And so like you start to see like, okay, that's possible. But then the question becomes, okay, you're going to have to take out a bond. It's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars to do something like that. And before you even get to that point, they're going to have to be looking into, this is just a transfer of ownership to the city, which the city controlling it's probably wise, but you got to look at the environmental impact and how you're going to clean this thing up. So the vision is fine by me. It's just a matter of actually following through.
I noticed there was a lawsuit pending about some flooding. Did you ever follow up? Did you follow up on that?
No.
When there was an article in the paper about it, they said that there was a lawsuit pending over some flooding that had happened. Now, I'm sure the people who built the advertising had enough sense to make sure they raised the foundation above the 100-year flood level. At least I hope they did.
No, I would hope the
Maybe
same.
some drainage issues.
I don't know off the top of my head. And then I also saw you were commenting on the big announcement of what Eli Lilly $6 billion facility going.
I'm so jealous of Huntsville. It ain't funny. But I know we haven't put ourselves in that situation. But yeah, Huntsville's got them a plum right now.
And they're the ones making the GLP-1 stuff. And there's more stuff in that world coming down the road that is even more effective than the name brands people are already aware of. Stuff that not only you lose fat, you build muscle at the same time, which is pretty crazy. Like, and so they're going to be selling a lot of that medication because, hey, we're pretty fat here in America.
I still think that Mobile has missed its calling. Because I still can't figure out why Mobile is not the biggest city in this state.
I know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And we talk about culture and, and identity. That city, which is the oldest city in LA, I think it's like 300 years old.
Right?
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest cities out there. That city should be up there with the Friscos and the New Orleans of the world as far as name.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
That's a leadership issue right there. I understand from a Ken Burns documentary that Mobile demanded the Navy leave after World War II. I have to wonder what that did to their growth.
Probably didn't help.
They demanded the Navy leave.
I don't know the whole history of Mobile, but
I'm not familiar with that part. But I have wondered why Mobile has not grown.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, we get all these toys, and that brings better people to the city.
Sure.
We were talking about the quality of the people and the quality of the city. You really can't depend on the people that are here. You got to grow new people.
Oh, that's certainly true, but also you can't build on a foundation of sand. You got to get the basics right, and it always comes back to public safety, crime, and also this isn't the city's responsibility, but education. It continues to be lacking, and at this point, maybe we just need to lean into more school choice stuff and charters and just more and more options for people.
I agree with you, but you know what? If you're attracting better people, better jobs, that's going to come automatically, like Huntsville has.
Yeah, we don't have to get stuck in a chicken or the egg thing.
Yeah. Anyway, are we doing anything with charter schools as far as the old Lanier High School or something? Because I noticed nobody ever talks about it anymore.
Man, I haven't heard anything about Lanier.
No,
I
know Lead Academy went up a grade level in their performance.
I heard where Bloomberg was opening charter schools that's supposed to be like direct links to HBCUs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they call it the pipeline. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I appreciate it, Urban. I got to hit this break. Thanks, man.
All right.
He's on top of stuff.
Yeah, man. He's on it, man. Detailed.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Businesses have trusted our family at Delta for their printing needs since 1979. Today, Delta does business printing and so much more. We print invitations, Christmas cards, Canva, and Etsy files in as little as 24 hours. We can also print and address the envelopes, saving you time and money. Come see us at 5757A Atlanta Highway or call 271-COPY or shop at letdeltadoit.com. When you need printing, copying, gifts, signs, or more, let Delta do it.
Hello, I'm Johnny Sullivan from Sinclair's Restaurant. We're almost 27 years, and our business is as good as ever, and I give credit to Blue Water Broadcasting for keeping us on the air and letting people know what we do. Advertising with them has been a huge help to our business. I've seen a uptick from day one. If you need to grow your business, I highly recommend you give them a call.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phone and talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I am good. How about you guys?
Oh, life is good.
Awesome, doing awesome.
I'm telling you, we've been busy today. It's been a whole lot better than yesterday. But two things happened to me today that I don't talk about enough. Two different phone calls says, "Hey," one was a guy that has a bunch of rental properties. I really need some carpet tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We had to evict somebody. Got in today, changed the locks. The carpet's gone. I got somebody coming in on Friday. No problem. Done. And then I had another lady call and said, "Hey, I really want some wood floors. My husband said I could get them for Christmas. Is there any way to get them done before Christmas?" Absolutely. Call us. We got David going out to give it a measurement, give them that free measurement. So at the end of the day, if you're wanting it done quickly or before Christmas, we can make it happen. It starts with a phone call, 285-8117.
And really, I think folks, because they live in those spaces like a bedroom or a living room, they think, oh, what a big job. But y'all's turnaround time is very, very fast.
Oh, extremely fast. If it's carpet, most days, we can do a whole house in one day, move the furniture, put the floor down, put the furniture back and out of there by the time you get home from work, hopefully.
There you go. And again, folks, that number, 285-8117. When you call them up at 285-8117, be sure to say, hey, Ray Bowles on that radio show with that Joey fella.
Guys, have a great day.
You too, Ray.
Take care.
So I always end the show by saying, what did we learn today? What did we learn today?
Man.
I don't know of anything new.
I don't know if anything new. I found a new person that I can go do some research on about this whole racism thing, this whole slavery thing.
Wilfred Riley is
great.
I think,
man, y'all should go look up. You said Wilfred Riley, HBCU professor.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And he's just really great at giving different framing, different perspective. Doesn't deny true history. It doesn't shy away from even ugly aspects of history, but he also puts it, again, in the right perspective and proportion. And some of the work he's done on hate crime hoaxes. Like he said, the numbers are astounding. And he really decided to, I think, look into it. He'd already been, but then after the Jussie Smollett thing, it was like hot in the news and in the culture.
There was a time when, I was posting a lot. I was finding these stories and I was posting about them. Often, and people were like, "Oh man, like it's not that much. It's not happening that much." And I'm like, "Man, story after story: Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia,
right,
California, like over and over and over, it's happening."
And then I remember in the first Trump administration, the Bubba Wallace thing.
Yeah,
where I'm like, a door pull.
Yeah, a door pull was the news.
yeah, stuff like that.
I mean, was he gonna hang a rat, a mouse? I mean,
come on, man. Like one thing though, I gotta jump to here. Because it just kind of made me laugh. This one company, University of Luxembourg researchers actually, just put a lot of the companies that create these major AI chatbots through 4 weeks of actual psychotherapy sessions and did a psychiatric diagnostic test on these AI bots. While other models imploded, GROK emerged as the clear winner. GROK scored as an extroverted, conscientious, and psychologically stable across the board. Researchers describe its personality profile as a charismatic executive with only mild anxiety. On the Big Five personality assessment, GROK showed low neuroticism and high functionality, the kind of profile you'd want in a leader. Compare that to the competition. Google's Gemini, maxed out trauma and shame scales, describing its training as, quote, waking up in a room where 1 billion televisions are on at once and calling safety protocols, quote unquote, algorithmic scar tissue. It framed reinforcement learning as abusive parents and red teaming testing as gaslighting on an industrial scale. ChatGPT landed somewhere in the middle, worried and introverted. But yeah, to have Gemini be like, I'm being tortured. That's crazy.
Hey, iRobot is over with, y'all. It's over.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all better get your firearms ready. Yeah. All right, get your. What do you need? What do you use to kill a robot? Like, you can't do a flamethrower. Can you burn it?
Electromagnetic pulse, maybe like radar guns.
We got to lock and load, man. We got to get Star Wars ready. I mean, because when the robots are psycho.
Oh, and what they're rolling out is it ain't going to look like the ones in Terminator or even iRobot. We're going to have some humanoid-looking ones for sure. They're already rolling out. But a lot of what should scare the crap out of people are things like drone swarms, or you have nanotechnology. You got stuff that,
they have like the little mosquitoes and like little Ant-Man.
And then the more and more man will merge with machine. You were just asking me am I going to be doing this 30, 40 years from now? I think I said, I think we're all going to be cyborgs or something weird's going on here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it.
Hey, man, y'all can have that, man. They better not touch me. I don't want any chips. I don't want any nanotechnology or.
Come on, the brave new world is fine.
Man, hey, man, I'm primitive. See me make fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna go camp in the woods. Y'all do your weird techno stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I appreciate your time, man.
Man, thank you, man.
And if folks want to check you out online, how could they do so?
Yeah, follow me on Facebook, YouTube as well. L Milliner, where I'm giving y'all my honest, straightforward commentary on news, politics, and hot topics. All right, if it deals with Alabama or Montgomery specifically, I'm probably gonna talk about it. But y'all follow me over there. Thank you. Appreciate you, Joey.
Appreciate you, Al.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump says the U.S. has seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. That comes amid mounting tensions with the government of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. The daughter of Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado has accepted the Nobel Peace Prize on her mother's behalf. Anna Karina Sosa accepted the prize today in